This is the group. You may have seen the picture. There was a flag, American flag, painted somewhere on campus on the ground, and the students refused to walk over it in disrespect.
They stepped around
Instead, they were chanting that our real enemies are here. Our real enemies are the mullahs, words to that effect. There's also all sorts of other examples of protests and what they were protesters, what they were saying. Soleimani is a murderer. His leader is also a murderer. That's a quote. That was one of the chants at Tehran's Sharif University. Tweets coming from inside the house, as it were. Today's Iran protests are so huge that even Fars news agency affiliated to the Revolutionary Guards just published a report saying protesters chanted for regime change and tore banners of Soleimani. Wow. This while MSNBC, the Chris Matthewses of the world, are claiming Soleimani was some hero to the people.
And then some broadcasters and journalists are still blaming Trump. Trump's assassination of Soleimani began the chain of events that culminated in the Iranian government accidentally killing 176 people. Escalation has consequences. Mm-hmm. President Trump is not to blame for the deaths of those 176 people.
They tweeting, the students tweeting, cannons, tanks, tear gas are no longer effective. Incompetent IRGC is killing the people. Now, I don't want to get too excited about this because you have, in part, according to people on the ground and Iranian scholars, these protests, particularly at the universities, are being moved by MEK activists, which is the People's Mujahideen, which are a bunch of Marxists. So, look, you have a thug regime, you have a terrorist regime in Iran, you have protests going on that are destabilizing that regime. And the good news about that, not only that it destabilizes the regime, but it also keeps their focus internally rather than their expansionist external desires. But I'm not suggesting the regime is going to be toppled anytime soon. We've seen this play out in Venezuela, right, where can't seem to dislodge Maduro. And I'm not saying that even if it was, it's going to be some free market, pre-China, Hong Kong paradise either. But let's understand what the actual dynamic is in Tehran and in Iran, and it is not from the Soleimani strike forward, and frankly, backward 40 years. It is not the narrative that the D.C. press corps has been telling for so long. The same D.C. press corps that was predicting World War III on Tuesday, okay? Because they fundamentally do not understand the political actors in charge of that country. Tom in Deer Park, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. Yeah, we can hope and pray. In the car with my daughter, and she said, Dad, do you know anybody that's ever been in Iran? And I said, no, not personally, but Google up some pictures from 1975 on culture. And, there's men and women in suits and young women in skirts and high heels. And, I'm not saying it was Freedom USA under the Shah, but it's just an illustration of how fast and how far our culture and society can be, like you mentioned, Venezuela, can take the wrong direction. So, I don't know if these movements are Marxist or who's behind it or what they're doing, but I would hope and pray that they could shred these mullahs and clerics from their leadership.
Yeah, right. Agree with you. Thanks, Tom. Craig in Mount Greenwood.
Hey, good morning, Dan. Hey, if anybody questions the sincerity of this Iranians with regard to shooting down a plane full of innocent people, right as they're admitting to it and everything like that, here they are, the bloodthirsty rats, shooting their own people, the kids and everything, protesters and everything like that. They have no regard for life or innocence whatsoever. They're bloodthirsty. They love to kill. So, of course, they have no remorse for shooting down that airplane. They could care less.
Thanks for the call, Craig. Well, remember, they denied it until they were essentially forced to admit it.
Their backs were against the wall. I mean, the evidence was insurmountable.
Secretary of Defense Esper was on a couple of the talkies. I'll pick out the one on State of the Union with Jake Tapper, talking about the other line of argumentation the press corps is continuing to prosecute, which is the intelligence that provided the basis to greenlight the strike. Here's what Mark Esper said at the outset. 3 reasons why the United States is safer with Soleimani gone.
The United States is safer today than we were just a few short weeks ago. Why? Because we eliminated the world's foremost terrorist, Qasem Soleimani, who had the blood of hundreds of American service members on his hands. Secondly, we restored deterrence with Iran, and we did so without American casualties. And third, we reassured our friends and allies in the region that the United States will stand up and defend our interests.
And on the matter of the actionable intelligence, the quality of it?
What about the intelligence? Was there specific intelligence the Iranians were plotting to target 4 U.S. embassies?
There was intelligence that there was an intent to target the U.S. embassy in Baghdad. What the president said with regard to the 4 embassies is what I believe as well. He said he believed that they could have been targeting the embassies in the region. I believe that as well, as did other national security team members. That is why I deployed thousands of additional paratroopers to the region to reinforce our embassy in Baghdad and to reinforce other locations throughout the region.
And that's not how it's being reported by the New York Times and other outlets. You know, they probably might have. Wasn't actionable intelligence. It was an overreach is the clear implication. Here's Mark Esper's clear takeaway.
The important thing is this. Soleimani orchestrated, resourced, directed the attacks escalating up to the December one that killed an American. He orchestrated the siege on the U.S. embassy in Baghdad, and he was planning this much broader plot in multiple countries that would be bigger in scale and that likely would have taken us to open hostility with Iran. In fact, a very, very senior intelligence community official said to us that the risk of inaction is greater than the risk of action. To me, that is very compelling.
There's only one radio show in Chicago talking about today's biggest stories and telling you what they really mean. That show is this one, Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560, The Answer.
This story is called The Ugly Truth About Timeshare. If you think you've done your family a favor by buying a timeshare, you need my help. Hello, I'm Chuck McDowell, CEO and founder of Wesley Financial Group. 10 years ago, I started helping folks cancel their timeshare contracts, and in the process started what's now called the timeshare cancellation industry. Timeshare is the only thing that you can buy that you can't tell me how much it's going to cost or when it's going to end. When you buy a timeshare, you give them a blank check to fill out any amount they want for annual maintenance and assessment fees. Sound crazy? The crazy thing is, this never ends. Even when you die, your family's now going to be stuck with this burden. Stop the insanity today. Call my office now. I guarantee if we can't cancel your timeshare contract, you'll pay nothing.
Call for your free information kit. 800-290-7100. That's 800-290-7100. 800-290-7100.
This is an interesting point, too. There's some reports circulating. The Iranian government decided not to close the civilian airport because they assumed that the presence of civilian air traffic would make a U.S. response to their rockets less likely. In other words, they used their own people as human shields. But it's Trump's fault. Okay.
Have you ever had trouble getting started this new year because you've been fighting a cold or the flu? And folks, it's only January, and experts are predicting a terrible flu season this year. And the best way to stay healthy in 2020 is to boost your immune system by eating well, and that means getting enough fruits and veggies, which I know we aren't doing. So that's why I've been taking Balance of Nature. My immune system was absolutely shot. And that's because I got off Balance of Nature, but I'm back on it. I'm committed. I even take it over the weekends. And what I do is put 3 fruit capsules in warm water and then sip it slowly, and it coats my throat, and I'm feeling better already. And just 6 capsules of Balance of Nature, well, guess what? You're getting 10 servings of 31 fruits and veggies. Now, you hear stories right here on this station all the time about how people's lives have changed by taking Balance of Nature, and it's true. I have people come up to me all the time and say, hey, you know, my husband had a heart attack, and the very next month, he was constructing a pergola in the backyard. And she thanks it all to the wonderful properties of Balance of Nature. So make 2020 a year of better health for yourself. Call or go online now and become a preferred customer, which gives you the best pricing and free shipping. Plus, you'll get an additional 35% off your order. This is a limited time offer, so do not wait. Call 800-246-8751. That's 800-246-8751. Use discount code Chicago or simply go to balanceofnature.com, discount code Chicago.
Names matter. Your name, the name you've made for yourself, and the name of the company you represent. Because of you, their names people can trust. That's why at 4imprint, every name and logo is printed with certainty. We pay attention to every detail because we know the way your name appears is the way it's remembered. So you'll know for certain that every item, from the right apparel to the most popular tech items, will be right the first time, on time, every time, at a great price, guaranteed. Because when you have passion, integrity, and certainty, the only name they'll remember is yours. Explore thousands of promotional products at 4imprint.com. That's the number 4, imprint.com. 4imprint. For certain.
Listen up, parents. Are your children or grandchildren purchasing a new home? Then you need to contact your trusted local lender, Team Hochberg. Not your bank, not an online lender, and definitely not your realtor's preferred lender. Jen lived at home to pay off student loans and save for a down payment. Jen began her property search online and was inundated with calls and text messages from realtors and their preferred lenders she didn't know. Confused and overwhelmed, Jen asked her dad for advice, and he strongly recommended Team Hochberg, the only lender he trusted to help Jen secure financing on her first home. Now, Team Hochberg answered Jen's questions, approved her to purchase a home, and introduced her to a Team Hochberg realtor. Locating and financing a home won't be stressful if you call Team Hochberg first, your trusted local real estate team who will always look out for your kids' financial best interests. Call them now, 855-56-DAVID, or visit 56david.com. Team Hochberg helped me and thousands of AM 560 listeners, but guess what? They can't help you if you don't call. So call David now, 855-56-DAVID, or visit 56david.com. Homeside Financial, Equal Housing Lender, NMLS 1124061.
AM 560, The Answer.
Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
This is going to be interesting. We're going to talk to Leila Shukri Adan. She is a candidate for Congress in the Minnesota Democratic Farmer Labor Party, or from the Minnesota Democratic Farmer Labor Party. She's running against a congresswoman you may have heard of. Her name is Ilhan Omar. Oh. And Miss Adan is also Somali. And part of her candidacy is Representative Omar does not speak for the Somali community.
Oh, that's going to be good.
She joins us at 6:36.
And later, Dan got what he wished for. The final Jeopardy show Tuesday, correct? Who's going to win? But now let's get into the newsroom. Here's Mike Scott.
Cloudy skies, some light rain showers have crossed the area, a bit of snow as well, making things a little icy for the morning commute. 6:29 on AM 560, The Answer, and Chicago area drivers should be careful this morning on that commute. And Jim Talamonte is along in a moment with the latest on getting you there on time. Iranian police are accused of firing live rounds at protesters in Tehran and ramping up tensions there. Witnesses say several were wounded, and cell phone video circulated by activists show bloodstains on the pavement. Demonstrators have been out in force since Iranian forces announced they mistakenly shot down a Ukrainian airliner minutes after takeoff, killing 176. Defense Secretary Mark Esper says President Trump was justified in ordering a deadly strike on Iran's top general, but Esper says he has not seen specific evidence that Iran was planning any imminent attacks on U.S. embassies.
We restored deterrence with Iran without any United States casualties, and we reassured our partners and allies in the region that we will stand up and defend our interests.
President Trump made that claim in an interview with Fox News on Friday. Jury selection continues later today in the sexual assault trial of disgraced Hollywood executive Harvey Weinstein. A Georgia death row inmate today will request to be executed by firing squad. The Atlanta Journal-Constitution is reporting that Michael Nance is suing the state over his pending execution, claiming his veins would be difficult to locate for a lethal injection. The Pentagon has released the names of 2 soldiers killed in Afghanistan this weekend. The Army Airborne troopers were Ian McLaughlin from Virginia and Miguel Villalone from Aurora, who attended East Aurora High School. The 21-year-old, the second Chicago area service member to be killed in defense of the country this week. The Taliban claimed responsibility. DuPage County authorities are set to announce new developments later today in the unsolved murder of a teen girl over 4 decades ago in Lisle. Pamela Mauer's body was found in 1976 along College Road in Lisle. 16-year-old Downers Grove South High School student was reported missing the day before. Now, the Mauer case was reopened in 1993 for a short time in an attempt to locate her killer, but that effort was unsuccessful. State lawmakers in Illinois are proposing legislation requiring that cautions against sexting be included as part of sex education classes in schools. The new law would affect courses for grades 6 through 12. Some schools across the state have already implemented sexting restrictions as part of that curriculum. Bulls on the road tonight facing the Celtics. Blackhawks visit the Senators tomorrow night after snapping their 2-game losing skid over the weekend. The NFL divisional round is in the books. On Sunday, Packers edged the Seahawks, and the Chiefs rallied over the Texans. The news service of Staples with a huge selection of ink and toner in stock at low prices. Save this week at $25 when you buy any 2 HP toners, so you'll get more for less at Staples, where there's a whole lot more in store. Offer ends 1/18/20. Restrictions apply. See stores staples.com/toner savings for details. Staples. 6:33, and a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Mike Gallagher isn't sure which side the Democrats are on.
The Democrats are virtually on the side of Iran, as the daughter of Soleimani has vowed that there is going to be a dark event happening against the United States as they are promising to literally attack the White House. The Democrats seem to be siding with our enemy.
The Mike Gallagher Show, weekdays at 9, right before Dennis Prager at 11 on AM 560. The Answer.
Balance of Nature, changing the world one life at a time.
I love the products. I haven't had a cold since I've started. My grandkids get sick all the time, and I don't catch what they have. I'm going to be 68 tomorrow, and I'm in great shape, and I'm very grateful. I know the balance of nature, the simplicity of it and the purity of it has just been a tremendous blessing for me.
See how getting a variety of over 10 servings of whole fruits and vegetables every day can make a difference for you this year. To help you start your New Year's resolutions right, Balance of Nature is offering 35% off and free shipping on your first preferred order of Balance of Nature. This New Year's special won't last, so call in now. Call 800-2468-751. That's 800-2468-751. Or go to balanceofnature.com and use discount code Chicago.
When it's cold outside, you can dress for it. But when your furnace gives out, hey, a blanket fort can only do so much. So call your local 1-Hour Heating and Air Conditioning. We'll replace your old furnace with a new high-efficiency one. And that beats a bunch of blankets any day. Right now, cozy up to big savings on a complete heating system. Call 855-1-HOUR.
Your comfort is just a call away. Call 1-HOUR.
Terms and conditions may apply. Call for details. Independently owned and operated. Licensed in the respective state or county.
Tired of your winter routine? Escape during Apple Vacation's Great Winter Event and save up to $400 on your next vacation. Visit all-inclusive ocean hotels in Mexico and the Caribbean. Book now and enjoy a discounted room upgrade plus more great winter event extras at Ocean by H10 Hotels. Affordable choices, endless adventures. Apple Vacations. Contact Carey Travel Express or visit careytravelexpress.com to book today. Valid at participating resorts when booked by January 31st for travel through October 2020. Restrictions apply.
It's open enrollment season, and Metashare is a Christian healthcare sharing ministry that saves most families about $500 a month. Google Metashare and see if it is a fit for you.
6:36, AM 560 traffic center time, and Jim Telemonte.
South side, there's a multi-vehicle crash. 29th Damon, Eden's inbound. You're looking at about a 3-minute delay. Cicero to the junction, inbound Kennedy. Traffic's heavy in pockets starting at Cumberland. We're looking at about 28 minutes, so here to downtown. Outbound 32 with delays starting around Nagel. Westbound 190 is heavy going into O'Hare. Inbound Eisenhower, 38 minutes, 390 to downtown. Outbound 31. Inbound Stevenson, 44 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive. Inbound Ryan, 28 minutes, 95th to downtown. There was a stall near the Stevenson. It cleared. I-57, 18 minutes, 90 to the merge. Bishop 425. Tollways are still pretty light. Northwest Indiana's okay. And that's traffic. I'm Jim Telemonte on AM 560 The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the 1-hour heating and air conditioning weather center. Cloudy and 38 today. Cloudy, a shower in spots for dawn tomorrow. High 30 and partly sunny and mild for late tomorrow afternoon. And a high of 44. 32 right now. Next news at 7. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560 The Answer.
Listen to AM 560, The Answer, online at 560theanswer.com, on the AM 560 mobile app, on your Alexa-powered smart speaker, on TuneIn, iHeart, and radio.com. If you're looking for the latest news, insight into what it means, and the sharpest opinion, there's only one station in Chicago where you can turn, and it's this one. We're AM 560, The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy, and it's tough times for Representative Ilhan Omar up there in Minnesota.
Well, it's hard, when your ex-husband gets remarried, that takes a toll on the kids.
Perhaps her the alleged boyfriend she's had for some time takes the edge off a bit.
Right.
That may help, but she's there's pending FEC complaints against her for how she was spending campaign resources, including on her alleged boyfriend.
Yeah, hundreds of thousands of dollars. Yep.
And now she's drawn a primary challenge. Leila Adan is a candidate for the 5th District DFL congressional nomination. The Democrat Farmer Labor Party in Minnesota is basically Democrats. So think of it, if it was Illinois or some other state, it would basically be your Democrat primary. She also, Omar, has a Republican opponent named Danielle Stella, but that's a Dem district, so perhaps all the action is in the primary, and she's got one. And Miss Adan had this piece I saw over at powerlineblog.com last week. Very interesting. She writes, it is with dismay that I read the article describing our congressional representative as the anti-Semite of the year, referring to her being Omar being named that by the Washington Free Beacon. She brings unwanted attention and shame to the 5th District by her views. Those of us in the Somali community see her words and deeds as a disgrace. She has put us on the map in all the wrong ways. And we're pleased to be joined by the aforesaid Leila Adan. Miss Adan, thanks so much for joining us. Appreciate it.
Good morning, Dan and Amy.
Good morning. And so, you sort of lay it out in the first paragraph of your commentary there, but give us the basis for your candidacy and how you think the Somali community actually receives Omar as compared to how it's portrayed perhaps in the D.C. press corps.
Thank you for the opportunity to talk to you and your listeners out there. I'm running because, first of all, I'm a patriot of the United States, and when I took my oath of citizenship, I took it literally, like many other immigrants and refugees who come to this country. When we elected Ilhan Omar, we had expectations of a unity candidate. This is a very diverse district, and we came together to elect someone who we thought represented all parts of the community in the 5th District. As things have gone along, we have seen that that's not what has happened. And as she has gained more power in Washington, it became something of a disgrace for the Somali community because whatever Ilhan did represented us, and that's not who we are. So this Ilhan that you have in Washington is not representative of the community. And because many of us have put down families and roots in the United States, We feel that her misrepresentation of the Somali community is going to have dire consequences for ourselves and our children in the future. And so we needed a course correction. A lot of people thought, she's too powerful to be taken on, but I've decided to see something, say something, and do something.
Have you ever met Ilhan Omar, the congresswoman?
Yes, I know her. We live in the same community. I was very good friends with her ex-husband, Ahmed, who's quite popular and was integral in having her elected. And so a lot of loyalty was to Ahmed and the campaign that he was running. He was a formidable organizer, and I know that was what his vision was. And when she went to Washington, it seems that she lost what we hoped her to be and the representation we were hoping for.
Is he helping you with your campaign now?
I personally told him when I made the decision, he has to obviously stay neutral because they have children and concerns, but we are friends. He knows who I am, and he understands. I've voiced the issues that we have, and we've talked. We've had a lot of private conversations, and I don't think that he can come out and support any one candidate. And I'm not the only one, but probably the strongest one. But the other people coming in, we have a few other Republicans who are coming. Even though the district is mostly Democrat, there are people who are very upset about what's going on. And so, I feel that I represent the course correction.
It seems like from the commentary I was referencing that what really prompted you to run is this is Ilhan Omar's, what I'll say is Ilhan Omar's anti-Semitism, the ridiculous and intemperate things she has said about Jewish people, and frankly the statements like some people did some things on 9/11, and that you want to make sure people understand that is not reflective of the larger views of the Somali community, which is quite substantial in Minneapolis.
It is absolutely not our views, and some people did not do something. We were attacked by terrorists. And the fact that she can't, even with a correction, say that out clearly is horrific and reflects badly on the community. Second of all, the 5th District has about a 30% population of Jewish Americans who, when she went to ask for their vote at the very last primary debate, it was hosted at Bethel Synagogue. And she clearly, when she was asked very clearly what her support for Jewish causes or the Jewish state of Israel was, she affirmed her support for Israel's right to exist, as well as not supporting the boycott, divest, and sanction movement, which means she clearly did a bait and switch, because 10 days after she was sworn in, Ilhan went to have an interview and said that she had now changed her mind. That's exactly 10 days. And so she clearly lied, and that's why I'm running, because I want to be able to debate her on that exact fact. What happened in the 5th District was horrific. She embarrassed us. She humiliated us and has sown discord amongst us and the Jewish community, who have really held us and taking care of the Somali community when people first arrived here as refugees. The Jewish community, family services supported Muslims and Somalis in the 5th District to resettle here. And whenever there was any anti-Muslim situation, the Jewish community came to support it. And so now she has not just embarrassed us, she's made everyone think that we actually think that way. It's just that it's come out now. She's nothing like any members of the Somali community.
Is the Jewish community there in Minneapolis, St. Paul, as up in arms about Omar and some of the things she said and the position she's taken as you are?
Yes.
So there's a real potential for this coalition of Muslims, Somalis, and Jews to switch out their representation.
Absolutely. What is being portrayed in Washington of Ilhan being a very powerful congressperson is a myth in our district. She was when she was first elected. Now she isn't. And there's absolute chance for her to lose this seat. I know she's collected a lot of money, and whoever she's representing in her interests in Washington is not the 5th District. And so she thinks that because she's collected, I believe now, I'm not quite sure what the number is, but I believe it's close to $2 million. This is a small district. It makes me wonder why that many people would be donating that amount of money to keep Ilhan in Congress? Who are those people and what's their agenda? Because it's certainly not what we want in the 5th District.
Well, as a Republican, I encourage Republicans to donate to Omar to keep her there because she doesn't do any help to the Democrat Party, that's for sure. I assume if you're elected, you would not then be a member of the so-called squad, a term that ascribed to them by Nancy Pelosi.
I think the media perpetuates a lot of myths out there that makes, to make things newsworthy. I'm going to follow the principles of the Constitution, represent the people of the 5th District as well as I can, and do what my job is, which is to represent the people, and especially within the map of the 5th District. We have a lot of issues here with unemployment, housing, student loans, healthcare. Very basic things. They might not be something that makes us different than any other district in America, but we have the same mom and pop issues that every other family has. And so this issue of going to Congress and being part of a squad is not going to be part of my agenda.
If you could just take a step back and tell us a little bit about the Somali community in Minneapolis, St. Paul, for those who aren't familiar, because I want people to have an accurate picture of it, not the distorted picture that's coming. Mm-hmm. That's being broadcast because of Omar being seen as the representative of Somali Americans nationwide, and so give us a sense of what that community is and how it interacts with other populations in the district, and just what sort of community you have.
We have a vibrant, hardworking Somali community. Most of them are working very hard, going to school, living their daily lives, opening small businesses, contributing to taxes, law-abiding citizens who love America. That's what I need to put out there. And a lot of people in the mainstream community in the 5th District and in Minnesota know that. We are as appalled as the mainstream community here, the Americans who are born here, at what is going on. We are grateful to be here. We support this country. A lot of young people have signed up to go into the military. And so this perception that's out there that we have this outrageous congresswoman is hurting our futures and our presence in America. She's putting us in danger. And the Somali community is appalled by what she's doing. I'm going to stand up and defend who we are, and we hope to work very hard and to have your listeners help us to remove her. My aim is to remove her.
And Leila, what do you think about her payments to her lover's watchdog group?
That's what's being missed in the 5th District here, is that it's been scandal after scandal after scandal. When does she get to work and do the work, what the taxpayers are paying her for, the day-to-day work that needs to be done by the 5th District? There hasn't been a topic that Ilhan has not had a comment on. Mm-hmm. I mean, there's that many Congress people in Congress. Why is Ilhan in the forefront of being the discussion for every topic that comes out of Congress? We don't understand why she took this position. We don't see what she has done in the 5th District. We have issues happening here. By the way, Ilhan voted against a bill that would directly benefit the government of. People think that she's out there supporting us. We had an arms appropriation bill that was going to support the government of Somalia to get debt relief. Ilhan voted against it and then took credit for it.
Really?
So we outed her about lying about that situation. We had Republicans who voted for the bill to help Somalia stabilize because we are being terrorized in Somalia. And so if she voted against a bill that would help Somalia, who is she really? That's the core constituency. People want to have a safe Somalia so that their families can be safe. And she voted against that, which is an interest directly bearing on the safety of the United States and Somalia. We have vested interest in that. Well, she voted against it.
Well, right. I mean, I would think that as a Somali American, you would want to use the power of America to help your home country and help the country you've adopted, America, and as well as help the country of origin. And you know what way that could help all parties involved is to collaborate to go after al-Shabaab and terrorists in Somalia and elsewhere.
Exactly. That is the common interest. Al-Shabaab over there is a problem for both us and the United States. And the United States military base in Somalia is helping protect innocent Somali victims who are bombed almost on a weekly basis. We just had a bombing in Somalia that took out almost 2,000 people. She's very tepid in her response on issues that have to do with terrorism and safety for the United States and for Somalia. but very loud about things that have nothing to do with the district. We sympathize with the issues of Israel and Palestine, but that is not our core issue in the 5th District. And that's the primary focus of who the congressperson is when you're elected.
All right, how can we find out more information about your campaign and where to donate and to help you?
Thank you very much. I have a P.O. Box now, 26272, and I will be on Act Blue before the end of the day. I know that your listeners can help. This is a digital world. Please like our pages when they come up. Speak to your friends and family. Donate and help us. We can all dislike something, but we have to act on what we dislike and help remove Ilhan from Congress.
She is Leila Adan. Leila Adan. She's a candidate for the 5th District DFL congressional nomination, Democrat nomination in Minnesota, running against Representative Ilhan Omar. Ms. Adan, thank you so much for joining us. Refreshing to talk to you, and good luck with your candidacy. Appreciate it.
Thank you for inviting me. Thank you very much, and have a good day.
You too. And she joined us on our turnkey.pro answer line.
Before you see it on TV, share it on Facebook, or read about it in the paper. Hear it here first. This is Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
The Lou Dobbs Financial Report is brought to you by Signature Bank, helping local businesses succeed. Visit signaturebank.bank for your commercial banking needs.
I'm Lou Dobbs. Pelosi expected to deliver impeachment articles tomorrow. Multiple financial reports ahead this week, and GM reviving the Hummer as an electric car. Those stories next. Albert Einstein once said the only way to predict the future is to look at the past. History proves financial markets have patterns. What goes up must eventually come down. Lou Dobbs here, and the market is up, higher than it's ever been in history. But it may not stay that high without an eventual adjustment. And if it comes down, stocks could tumble quickly. Don't wait to protect your money until it's too late. Your entire retirement portfolio could be at risk in one day. My advice? Visit goldirakit.com and learn how Goldco feels you can protect and secure your retirement savings now. Get a free Gold IRA kit from Goldco by visiting goldirakit.com and fill out a simple form. The folks at Goldco will help you set up a self-directed IRA that puts you in control of your money. Just call 855-815-GOLD or go to goldirakit.com today. The pointless Democratic standoff on impeachment will end tomorrow when House Speaker Pelosi concedes defeat to Senate Leader Mitch McConnell. She will send articles of impeachment to the Senate, Pelosi dragging her feet for 3 weeks, trying to unconstitutionally impose her will on the upper chamber. It didn't work. The Treasury Department releases December's federal budget today, kicking off a packed week of business reports that will include quarterly financials tomorrow from Wells Fargo, Delta, and J.P. Morgan Chase. President Trump scores a major victory signing his new trade agreement with China this Wednesday. Once a symbol of gas-guzzling vehicles, the Hummer name, about to be revived by General Motors, it will return to the market as an electric pickup truck to be sold by GMC. Please join me for Lou Dobbs tonight, 7 o'clock and 10 Eastern on the Fox Business Network. This is the Lou Dobbs Financial Report.
All right, I'm back on it, back on Balance of Nature. I'm about a week in, and I am feeling much better. I'm trying to boost my immune system after 8 weeks of hell, really, of just different infections, sinus infections, bronchitis, you name it. We had it here. So boost your immune system right now, and the only way to do that, and the best way to do that, to avoid, getting the flu and other ailments, is to take Balance of Nature. Because admit it, we're not eating enough fruits and veggies on our own, and that's where Balance of Nature comes in. Just 6 capsules of Balance of Nature. You're getting 10 servings of 31 different fruits and veggies. You hear stories right here on this station all the time about how people's lives have changed by taking Balance of Nature, and I've met a few of those people, and their stories are real. So experience the Balance of Nature difference for yourself and make 2020 a year of better health for yourself. Call or go online now and become a preferred customer. What does that mean? Well, that means you'll get the best pricing and free shipping, and you'll receive an additional 35% off your first order. This will be a limited time offer, so do not wait. Call 800-246-8751. That's 800-246-8751. Use discount code Chicago or go to balanceofnature.com. Discount code Chicago.
Signature Bank is Chicago's fastest growing independently owned business bank. It's a bank where relationships still matter. Signature Bank knows your name and your story. I'm Dan Proft, and I know this because Signature Bank is my business bank.
I'm Amanda Zanger, owner of Black Industrial and Safety Supply in Hammond, Indiana, and a business customer of Signature Bank. Prior to owning my own business, I worked for a major financial institution. So when it came time to finance the acquisition of Black, I approached a big bank, only to receive a solid no. That's when Signature Bank stepped in. With Signature Bank, the process was different. Signature provided creative financing options that enabled me to purchase Black and continue to grow the business. Thanks to Signature Bank, Black Industrial is able to continue serving Fortune 500 industry fabricators and contractors with tools and safety supplies as we have since 1893.
Signature Bank is looking for their next success story. To learn more about turning your business vision into reality, visit signaturebank.bank. Signature Bank, helping local businesses succeed. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Stop wasting energy. There's a better way. Your company could be receiving energy efficiency incentives by recycling waste heat from on-site power generation equipment and turning it into useful energy. The federal government is pushing utility companies to be more efficient. In turn, utility companies are offering incentives for your business. Charles Equipment can help get you up and running with cogeneration, also known as CHP, combined heat and power. A clean and efficient way to generate heat and power. CHP systems can supply at least a portion of a building's electrical load and capture waste heat from hot exhaust gases for use in heating, cooling, hot water, and dehumidification. Charles Equipment can install and manage the cogen equipment at your facility and help your energy use become 70 to 90% more efficient. Start making better, more energy efficient decisions and save money in the process. Call Charles Equipment 630-834-6000 or online at charlesequipment.com. Reliable industrial generators. They've got the power.
A research institute is seeking a senior institute scientist in gasification technology to provide scientific and engineering leadership of all gasification-related technology development and new business development within the research and development organization. Formulates attack on gasification problems of exceptional importance to organization and leads other professional staff in major gasification efforts. Candidates must possess a bachelor's degree in chemistry, chemical engineering, or petroleum engineering, a PhD in engineering, 15 years experience in gasification work, including technical and R&D work in chemical or petroleum engineering and operation of international programs and projects, and permanent U.S. work authorization. Direct inquiries to Jeremy Otahal, Human Resources at Institute of Gas Technology, 1700 South Mount Prospect Road, Des Plaines, Illinois, 60018. Once again, 1700 South Mount Prospect Road, Des Plaines, Illinois, 60018.
Improving your home? Why not make it easy? Don't miss the free admission Home and Garden Show. This weekend only at the Drury Lane in Oakbrook Terrace. Find the ultimate in savings and convenience with thousands of the latest home products and services for the freshest ideas to remodel, repair, and beautify your home. Inside and out. Get trusted advice on your upcoming projects as you speak with local and national experts who will help you with all of your home improvement needs. Plus, don't miss the free seminars by experts including Normandy Remodeling and the Master Gardeners. And be sure to see the free cooking shows and other product demonstrations. Check out the latest in spas and hot tubs and so much more. From interiors to exteriors, from decor to outdoor, you'll find it all in the Home and Garden Show this weekend from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. Saturday and Sunday at Drury Lane in Oakbrook Terrace, just north of the Oakbrook Shopping Center, with free admission and free valet parking. For details, visit oakbrookhomeshow.com. That's oakbrookhomeshow.com.
News, opinion, insight. This is AM 560 The Answer. WIND Chicago. Streaming at 560theanswer.com on the AM 560 mobile app and on radio.com.
They chanted death to the dictator, not America. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. Protesters in Iran angry at their own leaders over the taking down last week of a passenger plane. They then clashed with security forces. Fox's Simon Owen monitoring live from London.
Dave, protesters have gathered again in Iran's capital, Tehran, for a third day of demonstrations after Iranian authorities admitted shooting down a passenger plane by accident amid last week's tensions with the United States. There are reports police opened fire on protesters last night. President Trump is offering support to the crowds, but an Iranian government spokesperson saying the people will not forget this is the same person who threatened to bomb 52 cultural sites in Iran. Dave.
Simon, more than a month after a Saudi Arabian Air Force officer shot and killed 3 U.S. sailors at a base in Pensacola, Florida, the U.S. is planning to remove more than a dozen Saudi military students. Some are connected to extremist beliefs, some accused of possessing child porn. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi is finally ready, maybe by tomorrow, to hand over the articles of impeachment to the Senate for trial more than 3 weeks after the House voted to accuse President Trump of abuse of power and obstruction of Congress. She told ABC's This Week.
We have confidence in our case that it is impeachable, and this president is impeached for life, regardless of any gamesmanship on the part of Mitch McConnell.
Now, he's the Senate Republican leader who plans to start the trial without agreeing to call witnesses like Democrats demand. McConnell says they could do that during the trial. President Trump tweeted there's no evidence, no crime, again calling impeachment a hoax. Days after creating royal controversy, Prince Harry will sit down for talks with the Queen in England after he and wife Meghan decided to take a step back from royal duties, planning to be financially independent, living part-time in North America. And Harry and his brother Prince William issued a statement claiming there's a false UK newspaper story today that speculates the brothers' relationship is strained. America's listening to Fox News.
In Chicago this morning, we have gray skies. We've had some light rain showers and snow overnight. 7:02 on AM 560, The Answer. Good morning, everyone. I'm Mike Scott. Pentagon releasing the names of 2 soldiers killed in Afghanistan this weekend. The Army Airborne troops were Ian McLaughlin from Virginia and Miguel Villalone from Aurora, who attended East Aurora High School. The 21-year-old is the second Chicago area service member to be killed in defense of the country this week. A woman killed Sunday at a hotel in Maryville, Indiana. Lake County Coroner's Office saying the 45-year-old woman was pronounced dead around 2 p.m. Death ruled a homicide. Officials at the Hampton Inn are declining to comment on that investigation. One man is dead, another wounded following a shooting on Chicago's West Side. The men were sitting in a vehicle last night in the 4300 block of West Thomas when someone approached and fired shots. The lone survivor of a church bombing in Birmingham, Alabama in 1963 shared her story with the congregation of a local church last night.
I began to wonder why did they kill them, because beautiful girls never did any harm to no one.
Sarah Collins Rudolph spoke yesterday about her experience at the Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. celebration at St. Sabina Church. 4 girls were killed in that explosion, including Rudolph's 14-year-old sister. Bulls on the road tonight to take on the Celtics. Blackhawks visit the Senators tomorrow night after snapping their losing skid over the weekend. Fighting Illini remain idle until Saturday when they host Northwestern after a win over Rutgers on Saturday, 54-51. The news service of Staples. Staples has a huge selection of ink and toner in stock at low prices this week. Save $25 when you buy any 2 HP toners, so you'll get more for less at Staples, where there's a whole lot more in store. Offer ends 1/18/20. Restrictions apply. See store or staples.com/toner savings for details. Staples. 7:04 and a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Steve Cortez.
One of my favorite books as a junior high student, The Outsiders. Well, when it comes to politics, we in the America First movement, we're the greasers. We're the outsiders. I'm okay with being an outsider. You probably are as well. Being a conservative in Chicago. I'm unafraid of being a Trump advocate on CNN. And I'm unafraid about being a Christian trying to raise a faith-filled family in a world that's often hostile.
The Steve Cortez Show. Weeknights at 5, right before Larry Elder at 7 on AM 560. The Answer.
This is a last chance alert. It's happening. In just days, Publishers Clearinghouse will award $5,000 a week forever. Enter now at PCH.com and you could win $5,000 a week for your life. Plus, after that, $5,000 a week for life for someone you choose. The $5,000 a week forever prize is guaranteed to be awarded on February 28th. So don't miss your last chance to win. Enter at PCH.com before it's too late. That's PCH.com. Hurry, award day is almost here. Go to PCH.com now. Entries due 2/25. No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited.
New year, new budgets. Every small business has unique needs. When you partner with a Dell Small Business Technology Advisor, you get real-time, tailored advice. They'll even give you a free audit on your servers and storage devices to develop a custom solution to help improve your company's productivity. Plus, right now, upgrade to Windows 10 and get up to 45% off select business computers with Intel Core processors. To speak with a Dell advisor, call 877-BY-DELL. That's 877-BY-DELL.
Attention maintenance coordinators and chief engineers. Welding is a craft requiring highly skilled personnel and specialized equipment. So who do you call when you need welding? Vans Industrial can perform all types of welding at your site or in their shop.
Hi, I'm Dave Van Camp, president of Vans Industrial. As a metal fabricator and installer, welding is a huge part of our business. At Vans, we have trained AWS certified welders, skilled in welding all types of alloys. We can weld carbon steel, stainless steel, brass, and aluminum with a variety of techniques, including MIG, TIG, and stick. And we have equipment to reach the farthest parts or the tightest areas of your facility.
Vans uses only the best and safest union-trained mechanics, insured at the highest level, to perform the job right. Call 833-VANS-IND to schedule your welding project today. That's 833-VANS-IND. Or visit vansindustrial.com. VANSindustrial.com. Vans Industrial, working safe since 1964.
Staples has all the organizational supplies you need for the new year. This week, a 12-pack of Bic round stick ballpoint pens is just $1.49, and Staples comp books are only $1 each. Save on office essentials at Staples. In-store only offer ends 1/18/20. Valid on assorted SKUs while supplies last. Staples.
7:07 AM 560 traffic center time, and Jim Talamonte.
I-55 northbound traffic's clogged up 30 to Lockport Road where there's a crash. Farther north, inbound Stevenson delays kick in around Harlem. It's 50 minutes, 3:55 to Lakeshore Drive, outbound 36. Edens runs 28 minutes, Lake Cook Junction, outbound 24. Kennedy, now 54 minutes, O'Hare to downtown. 29 from Montrose, 27 on the Express, outbound 49 minutes to the airport. Eisenhower, 56 minutes, 390 to downtown, 40 from Mannheim, outbound 41 minutes to 390. Ryan, 36 minutes, 95th to downtown. I-57, 23 minutes, 93rd, Bishop Ford, 28. Eastbound Reagan Tollway, it's heavy. Farnsworth, Deal, and Naperville Road to Yackley. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the 1 Hour Heating and Air Conditioning Weather Center and our meteorologist, Steve Williams.
Cloudy skies for today. Our high at 38. It'll be cloudy with a shower in spots toward dawn tonight, low 30. Partly sunny, mild day tomorrow, high 44. Cloudy with some snow and rain at times Wednesday afternoon. Little or no accumulation, the high at 37. I'm Steve Williams on AM 560, The Answer.
31 degrees officially at O'Hare, 32 along Chicago's lakefront. Your next news update is at 7:30. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
Listen to AM 560, The Answer, online at 560theanswer.com, on the AM 560 mobile app, and your Alexa-powered smart speaker, on TuneIn, iHeart, and radio.com. This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560, The Answer.
Top of the morning, Dan and Amy. Interesting news out over the weekend about how things transpired after the U.S. strike that killed Iranian General Soleimani. Just because it goes to undermine the perception promulgated by the Beltway Big Government Press Corps that this is a reckless, thoughtless, incoherent administration, particularly when it comes to national security, and the continued prosecution of the case that this was a reckless act by the president to order the strike. Wall Street Journal reporting hours after a U.S. strike killed Major General Qasem Soleimani, the Trump administration sent an urgent backchannel message to Tehran: don't escalate. The encrypted fax was sent via the Swiss embassy in Iran, one of the few means of direct confidential communication between the two sides, according to U.S. officials. In the days that followed, The White House and Iranian leaders exchanged further messages, which officials in both countries described as far more measured than the fiery rhetoric traded publicly by politicians. This isn't just one guy with his finger on the proverbial button. There's texture to these operations, and I'm sorry it couldn't include Nancy Pelosi and others who call Trump a traitor to his country on a daily basis, but it did include actual foreign service professionals and intelligence community operatives, in addition to his key cabinet secretaries.
And it was a successful strike. No other civilians were killed. They waited till he was on, a road by himself, and they had the drone strike, and it killed him.
Speaking of intelligence, too, we also find out, according to unnamed officials, that U.S. troops at the Al-Assad Air Base in Iraq that was struck in the face-saving retaliatory strike by Iran were aware that an Iranian attack was imminent.
They were hiding in the bunkers for hours before the first missile was ignited or launched. Excuse me.
A couple hours, yeah. Allow it the knowledge of the attack being imminent, not knowing exactly what form it would take, but knowing that it was coming, allowed them to take shelter. Also, most troops were either flown out of the base or sheltering in bunkers by 11 p.m. on that Tuesday night, shortly before the missiles struck. It's just interesting. Just want to provide a little bit more color to all these goings on than you're going to get if you watch the Sunday talkies and listen to that yapping terror Chuck Todd or some of the others as well. For more on this topic, we're pleased to be joined by Lieutenant Colonel Jim Carafano, Vice President of the Catherine and Shelby Cullum Davis Institute for International Studies at Heritage Foundation, author of books including Wiki at War and Private Sector Public Wars. Jim, thanks for joining us. Appreciate it.
Hey, good to be with you. I got to tell you, I've only been doing this, since I graduated West Point, so it's probably about 40, I don't know, I lost track how many years, but at Heritage for almost 2 decades now. I have never seen analysis as blatantly partisan as it was in the aftermath of the attack on the U.S. Embassy in Iraq. Never.
Well, and I got to tell you, I mean, it continues through yesterday with Chuck Todd talking to NSA, Robert O'Brien, and, getting to, well, hey, Bob, if we're going to call Soleimani a terrorist, then don't we have to call everyone in the regime a terrorist? And then Robert O'Brien had to explain to Chuck Todd how the distinction Soleimani earned through his terrorist activities to have a travel ban imposed by the UN outside of Iran, and the designation he has via our State Department that's separate and distinct from other Iranian military or senior government officials, and so on and so forth. So, again, prosecuting the case, it seems, for Soleimani on Meet the Press.
Right. Well, so it's that, you continue to see headlines about we were at the brink of crisis, the brink of war.
Yeah.
And clearly, increasingly, the evidence suggests, no, we weren't. We were not in the middle of an escalating crisis. And U.S. response is actually quite effective. And yet you continue to see headlines come out essentially saying that we were all about to die in World War III.
Right.
Equally kind of disturbing is the media response to the protests in Iran and Iraq, for that matter, which are principally aimed against the regime and are celebrating the death of Soleimani. And but yet you look at what the mainstream media are saying is they're very much lowballing that, not giving it near the attention and coverage that they gave when they could argue it was all Trump's fault. And when you look at the politicians have been critical of the president, they were so quick to blame the president, make excuses for Soleimani. Now you see the Iranian people essentially going to the streets, putting their lives at risk, saying, no, you're wrong. The bad guys here are in Tehran. And when you look at the level of statements, tweeting, et cetera, from the president's critics, almost nil.
Well, and their hatred was escalated when they learned 3 days later that Iran really was to blame for shooting down that Ukrainian jet passenger plane with 176 people on board.
Well, that was stunning. I mean, particularly when you saw in the immediate aftermath of the, when evidence came out that it was shot down, that there were actually critics, many of them inside America, essentially trying to blame the administration for this incident or excusing Iranian culpability. It's like people never read their own talking points. It would be if you listen to the logic of how people try to twist it and say, well, this was really all Trump's fault. Essentially, if you use that same moral code and you applied it to when a Russian aircraft system shot down MH17 over Ukraine, another Ukrainian airliner, several years earlier, if you follow their logic, then Ukraine was at fault and Putin was blameless. And I don't really think that they really believe that.
How fragile is the Iranian regime right now? I mean, I don't want to get out over our skis, too, the student protests notwithstanding, in terms of the prospect of anything significant happening in that country, except perhaps the repression of those protesters.
There's a terrific book by Natan Sharansky that talks about the difference between authoritarian regimes and democracies. And one of his really brilliant insights is the problem with analyzing the authoritarian regime and saying when are they going to fall is they're predicated on not allowing people to have full information and transparency. Mm-hmm. And so you never really, and this is why we're always surprised when these things kind of collapse. I say, I got to say that this regime's been around since 1979. They have incredibly strong controls over every element of the society. I doubt that a bunch of protests are going to bring the regime down. But having said that, you never know about how fragile they really are. The Ayatollah is, literally on his deathbed, but everybody expects him to die relatively soon. That's going to be a power struggle in the country. The economy is in terrible straits. They're completely politically isolated. So whether the demonstrations are capable of hitting a tipping point or not, I don't think we know. I don't think we can plan on that. I don't think we can count on that.
How fragile is the situation in Iraq? Trump administration warning the Iraqis they risk losing access to the Federal Reserve Bank of New York's accounts if they force America to withdraw from Baghdad. Just in terms of you can do your little show resolution to serve your Iranian masters, but don't make it more than that.
I mean, I think there again, I'm a little more sanguine. It is a non-binding resolution. It is a caretaker government. They don't really have the authority to make those kinds of decisions. If you look at the Iraqi people, you have Kurds, Sunni, and Shia. The Kurds want us to stay. They very much value their autonomous status, and they know that having the Americans there is key to preserving that. The Sunni want us to stay. They're in the minority. If you remember, Saddam Hussein was a Sunni. They ran a very oppressive government for a long time, but now they're in the minority, and they know the Americans leaving is almost a death sentence for them. And the Shia are really split. I mean, there are Shia that are incredibly pro-Iranian, but there are many Shia who are very nationalistic and want to preserve their own country. So I don't think we're anything close. And even the vote in Parliament was extremely close. I don't think we're anything close to the Iraqi people actually wanting the United States to leave.
Yeah. What did you make of President Trump's tweet? He tweeted in English and in Farsi, basically reaching out to the people of Iran, saying, I stood with you since the beginning.
Yeah. The other thing I thought was really interesting is this tweet says, look, they don't want to come to the table, fine. I'm just telling them, you can't push me around, and you better not kill your own citizens because that'll make it worse for you. And this is the thing about sanctions. There can always be more sanctions. There's a difference between sanctions and implementing sanctions. And then there's a difference between what kind of sanctions you lay down. I mean, people always say, sanction doesn't do any good. They have no idea how much we have not clamped down on the Iranians. And as painful as has been the economy and impactful as it's been, there is way more that we can do. And I think the Iranians have to be aware of that. I mean, we're just shutting down two sectors, which are kind of really their only lifeline to foreign currency and minerals and agricultural goods. This is, textiles, minerals and textiles. This is really getting into a really tense area for the Iranian economy, and they really put themselves at risk if they continue to do this.
Back at home, and thinking about that Pensacola shooting at the Naval Air Station in Pensacola, It was announced that more than a dozen Saudi servicemen training at U.S. military installations throughout the country are going to be expelled from the United States after a review that was done by DOJ. The Saudis are not accused, the Saudis being expelled, not accused of aiding the shooter, but some are said to have connections to extremist movements. Also, a number are accused of possessing child pornography.
Oh, my gosh.
But the question is, the Department of Defense and Justice that looked into this now, you're expelling a dozen. Is this going to be a one-off, or is this emblematic of a new protocol to do better vetting of the foreign servicemen that are training in the United States?
Yeah, I imagine this is a prelude to stronger vetting. I think it's shocking and stunning that the Saudis would let that number of people slip through. I mean, normally they're very serious about this, and they know the importance of it. So something isn't right here, and obviously the vetting process between the Saudis and the Americans is going to have to kind of reach a new level. It's really stunning that what they found.
He is Jim Carafano, VP of the Catherine and Shelby Cullum Davis Institute of International Studies at the Heritage Foundation. Jim, thanks as always for joining us. Appreciate it.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Take care.
Thank you. And he joined us on our turnkey.pro answer line.
Connect with Dan and Amy on the AM 560 The Answer mobile app. Just text the word app to 64636 to download the app today.
We have reached the age where things just cost more.
Cars, phones, life insurance.
Your blood pressure is up.
Your weight is up.
You're one to talk.
I have type 2 diabetes, so I'm getting dinged just like you.
Thank goodness for Big Lou.
Big Lou!
Big Lou can get term life insurance rates for a 50-year-old male with type 2 diabetes or high blood pressure, or maybe he's on anxiety meds for just around $200 a month for $1 million of coverage.
Oh, you got to say that again.
Go ahead.
Okay, I'll say it. Big Lou and term provider could get a 50-year-old man, a little dinged up, $1 million in life insurance for around $200 a month.
Call Big Lou.
Big Lou.
He's like you. 800-555-2085. That's 800-555-2085.
Don't put it off. If you're overweight, diabetic, have high blood pressure, you gotta call Big Lou.
Gotta. 800-555-2085.
Write it down.
800-555-2085.
I have the perfect way for you to start the new year off right. I'm talking about getting a great night's sleep with a MyPillow on top of the amazing Giza cotton sheets. And the offer of buy one set of sheets and receive the second set free, still available. And not only that, but you'll get free shipping if you add anything else to your order, such as a MyPillow, maybe a mattress topper. Throw in those new MyPillow towels, which are absorbent. They're wonderful. They come in different colors and sizes. Anything, all of those items will ship free as well. And you can get deep discounts on all MyPillow products, but you have to use the promo code Amy. I started sleeping with the brand new Giza cotton sheets a few months ago, and I am sleeping so much better. Plus, they're about half the price of those Egyptian cotton 1,000 thread sheets that you buy at a department store. So save yourself some money, and right now, buy one set, get a second set for free. All products have a 60-day money-back guarantee and a 10-year warranty. So go to MyPillow.com, click on the radio listener special box, and get 2 sets of Giza cotton sheets for the price of one, plus that free shipping on your entire order. MyPillow.com, promo code Amy, A-M-Y, or call 800-489-0201. That's 800-489-0201, and be sure to tell them that Amy sent you.
For over a half a century, Seven Dwarfs Family Restaurant has been feeding and putting smiles on the faces of hungry adults and kids. Their mouthwatering food and unique decor are why they're one of the oldest and most popular restaurants in DuPage County. I used to go there all the time as a kid. Get comfy in a table or booth, enjoy the colorful murals on the wall, and experience why generations of customers have made Seven Dwarfs their regular go-to spot for the best breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Everything on Seven Dwarfs' extensive menu is homemade from scratch, including 3 to 4 daily specials and a choice of 2 homemade soups. And be sure to save room for Seven Dwarfs' popular ice cream and sundaes. When you're craving a truly delicious home-cooked meal but don't feel like cooking, visit Seven Dwarfs Family Restaurant on Roosevelt Road in Wheaton. At Roosevelt and President on Wheaton's east side, Seven Dwarfs is open every day from 6 a.m. to 9 p.m. Visit sevendwarfsrestaurant.com or call 630-653-7888. Host and owner Sam Sadiku looks forward to serving and welcoming you to Seven Dwarfs family of happy diners.
Balance of nature.
changing the world one life at a time.
This is better than I expected. You guys, your customer service and everything, you guys are great. Yeah, you're the best company out there. And the commercials, they talk about it, but a lot of times it's like, I don't know if it really gives it true justice of what this really is. People need to know. This is maybe the most amazing product I've ever tried. You can just feel the energy. It's so pure. It tastes so good. I'm just blown away by it. It's amazing.
See how getting a variety of over 10 servings of whole fruits and vegetables every day can make a difference for you this year. To help you start your New Year's resolutions right, Balance of Nature is offering 35% off and free shipping on your first preferred order of Balance of Nature. This New Year's special won't last, so call in now. Call 800-2468-751. That's 800-2468-751. Or go to balanceofnature.com and use discount code Chicago.
AM 560, The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy.
Is this the royal couple update?
No. Mentioned earlier in the show that Neil Peart passed away, greatest rock drummer ever. Rush passed away on Friday. That's sad.
I had no idea that he was a lyricist, though, for the band and wrote several of the songs.
Absolutely. Also, it comes in threes, right? That's the old saying.
Oh, yeah. Who else?
Roger Scruton, who was a great conservative intellectual, passed away at the age of 75. If you're not familiar with Roger Scruton, if you weren't familiar with his work in life, you should get familiar with it. I would suggest The Meaning of Conservatism as a place to start. And then there's Ken Fussen. Who? Yeah. Ken Fussen.
How do you spell his last name?
Fuson.
Okay.
Ken Fussen's obituary in the Des Moines Register. Fussen attended the university's famous School of Journalism, University of Missouri, Columbia, which is a clever way of saying he almost graduated but didn't. Facing a choice between a story for the Columbia Daily Tribune and Missouri or taking his final exams, Ken went for the story. He never claimed to be smart, just committed. In 1981, Ken landed his dream job working as a reporter at the Des Moines Register, where he is probably best known for writing a one-paragraph, one-sentence weather story that has been reprinted in 4 books.
And what was that?
Oh. In 1996, Ken took the principled stand of leaving the Register because the Sun in Baltimore offered him more money. 3 years later, having blown most of that money at Pimlico, he returned to the Register, where he remained until 2008. In his newspaper work, Ken won several national feature writing awards, including the Ernie Pyle Award, the National Headliner Award, Missouri Award, Distinguished Writing Award, and the Best of Gannett contest. No, he didn't win a Pulitzer Prize, but he's dead now, so get off his back. There are those who would suggest that becoming a freelance writer in the midst of the worst recession since the Great Depression was not a wise choice, but Ken was never one to be guided by wisdom. He was diagnosed with liver disease at the beginning of 2019, which is pretty ironic given how little he drank. Eat your fruits and vegetables, kids. He's survived by his sons, Jesse and Max, and his stepson, Jared, who all brought Ken unsurpassed joy. He hopes they will forgive him for not making the point more often. He loved his boys and was and is extraordinarily proud to be their father. For most of his life, Ken suffered from a compulsive gambling addiction that nearly destroyed him. But his church friends and the loving people at Gamblers Anonymous never gave up on him.
Yeah, he placed his last bet on September 5th, 2009, and he died clean. He wrote of himself. That's what he said.
He hopes that anyone who needs help will seek it, which is hard, and accept it, which is even harder. Miracles abound. Ken's pastor says God can work miracles for you and through you. Skepticism may be cool, but for too many years, Ken embraced it. It was faith in Jesus Christ that transformed his life. That was the one thing he never regretted. It changed everything. Ken had many character flaws. If he still owes you money, he's sorry, sincerely, but he liked to think that he had a good sense of humor and a deep compassion for others. He prided himself on letting others cut in line. He would give you the shirt off his back, even with the ever-present food stain. Thank goodness nobody asked. In lieu of flowers, Ken asked that everyone wear black armbands and wail in public during a one-year grieving period. If that doesn't work,
that's funny.
How about donating a book to the public libraries in Granger or Indianola?
That's where Chris Street's from.
Yes, this obituary is probably too long. Ken always wrote too long. God is good. Embrace every moment, even the bad ones. See you in heaven. Ken promises to let you cut in line.
And there's also been a GoFundMe that's been set up for his family, and so far the page has raised about $10,000.
Yes, and in your inimitable comedic timing, you made mention at the beginning that obviously he wrote his own obituary. So the great thing about that is, in addition to it being fun, it tells you a lot about Ken Fussen and frankly, a lot about having some self-effacing humility. And that was the fun of that obituary. So rest in peace, Ken Fussen, as well as Sir Roger Scruton and Neil Peart.
Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer,
we'll talk to John Cass about, his profession, the media, at 7:37.
But now let's head straight into the newsroom. Here is Mike Scott.
Skies are gray. We've had light rain showers and a bit of snow through the very early morning hours of the day. Heading into the morning commute this morning, things are a bit slick. Jim Telemonte is along in just a moment with details on your morning ride. President Trump reportedly authorized the killing of Iran's top general 7 months ago. Several news reports now say current and former administration officials say the president would have to sign off on killing General Qasem Soleimani if Iran's aggression resulted in an American death. Tehran police reportedly fired live rounds at demonstrators protesting on Sunday. Witnesses say several were wounded, and cell phone video circulating shows blood-stained pavement. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi says Democrats will meet Tuesday to decide when the Senate will get the articles of impeachment against President Trump.
We would vote to send them over, and we'll determine in our meeting when we send them over.
The California Democrat has been criticized by members of her own party who have said it's time to send the articles to the Senate. The Pentagon has released the names of 2 soldiers killed in Afghanistan this weekend. The Army Airborne Troops were Ian McLaughlin from Virginia and Miguel Villalone from Aurora. Villalone attended East Aurora High School, the 21-year-old, the second Chicago area service member to be killed in defense of the country in 1 week. DuPage County authorities are set to announce new developments today in the long unsolved murder of a teen girl in Lisle. Pamela Mauer's body was found in 1976. The Downers Grove South High School student was reported missing the day before. Mauer's case was reopened for a short time in 1993 in an attempt to locate her killer, but that effort was unsuccessful. Bulls on the road tonight to take on the Celtics. The news service of Staples. Staples has a huge selection of ink and toner in stock at low prices. This week, save $25 when you buy any 2 HP toners. So you'll get more for less at Staples, where there's a whole lot more in store. Offer ends 1/18/20. Restrictions apply. See store or staples.com/toner savings for details. Staples. 7:33 and a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Winter stinks. Snow, ice, freezing temperatures, more snow. Escape Chicago and join Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson in Huatuco, Mexico. You'll stay at the Secrets Huatuco Resort and Spa from March 28th through April 4th. It's a beautiful, adults-only, unlimited luxury resort located on Conejos Bay. Don't wait to book your Passport to Paradise trip with AM 560 and Apple Vacations. Visit 560theanswer.com/passport. Presented by Joe Cotton Ford.
You've heard Rumpke's Garage commercials on AM 560, and now they specialize in servicing Sprinters and light-duty diesels. But the experts at Rumpke's also service Isuzu and Chevy low-cab forward trucks. So if you own an Isuzu or Chevy low-cab forward truck but aren't sure where to get it repaired, take it to Rumpke's Garage, your #1 dealer alternative for repairs to your Isuzu NPR, Isuzu F-Series, or Chevy low-cab forward truck. Whether gas or diesel, your truck is the lifeline of your business. That's why Rumpke's Garage offers free loaners while your truck is being serviced. They'll even pick up and deliver for your convenience. Rumpke's Garage has the factory scan tool to properly diagnose Isuzu and Chevy low-cab forward trucks. Their commitment to your business is backed with a complimentary maintenance plan and free 2-year warranty. Go to Rumpke'sGarage.com to learn more about their specialization in Isuzu and Chevy low-cab forward trucks and schedule your appointment today. That's Remkes, REMKES, Garage.com. Signature Bank is Chicago's fastest-growing independently owned business bank. It's a bank where relationships still matter. Signature Bank knows your name and your story. I'm Dan Proft, and I know this because Signature Bank is my business bank.
I'm Tom Goleb, Chief Financial Officer of Navitas Systems, a leader in the next generation of advanced battery technology and a customer of Signature Bank. A few years ago, I heard Signature Bank on an AM 560 radio ad, just as our previous commercial bank was being acquired. I knew Mick O'Rourke and Kevin Bastuga from a prior enterprise. I valued my relationship with them and the way they worked earned my trust and my business. So I decided to give Signature Bank a call. They took the time to understand our early-stage technology company that has its own set of challenges. Signature Bank took care of us, and now we are satisfied customers.
Signature Bank is looking for their next success story. To learn more about turning your business vision into reality, visit signaturebank.bank. Signature Bank, helping local businesses succeed. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Listen to AM 560, The Answer, online at 560theanswer.com, on the AM 560 mobile app, on your Alexa-powered smart speaker, on TuneIn, iHeart, and radio.com.
7:36. Let's get an update on the roads this morning with Jim Talamonte.
Inbound Eisenhower traffic is jammed with a crash between Holman and Sacramento. 2 right lanes are blocked. We're looking at about an hour and 10 minutes, 390 to downtown, 50 minutes from Mannheim, outbound 42 minutes to 390. Kennedy's now brutal, an hour and 2 minutes, O'Hare to downtown, 40 minutes from Montrose, 29 to the Express. Stevenson, 55 minutes, 355 to the drive. The Ryan, 40 minutes from 95th. I-57, 27 minutes. I-80 to the Murray's Bishop, 428. Northbound Tri-State delays are Archer to 75th. The Stevenson to 31st. And the Reagan tollway past the ice. Southbound Roosevelt before Ogden. Crash on the right shoulder. It's Reagan tollway. It's heavy. Winfield to Yackley. I'm Jim Telemonte on AM 560 The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast. From the 1 Hour Heating and Air Conditioning Weather Center, cloudy day ahead, high 38. Currently 31. Next news coming up at 8. And Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Real Estate Revealed with Randy Barcella, Sunday mornings starting at 8.
When you've got questions, he always has an answer. It's Sean Hannity, this afternoon at 2 on AM 560, The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. Are the walls closing in on Mike Madigan? That's a question we've asked many times over the years, and the answer has almost invariably been no. Maybe this time will be different. Not just the ComEd investigation, not just the federal investigation into gaming interests, but this email that was reported on BEZ last week. An email sent in 2012 by Mike McLean, who's a lobbyist in Springfield, close confidant of Madigan, basically sort of Madigan's point lobbyist, if you will, who is also, who's had the feds raid his home, and he is believed to be the key to getting Madigan if there is something to get. The email in question, this 2012 email, it's a McLean going to bat for a state prisons employee named Forrest Ashby. For God's sake, do not let this disciplinary meeting get out of hand. This man is a good compliance person, as I told you. The Attorney General's office and the sheriffs love working with him, McLean wrote to Gary Hanig, a former state rep who was then an aide to Governor Pat Quinn. He, meaning Ashby, kept his mouth shut on Jones's ghost workers, the rape in Champaign, and other items. He is loyal to the administration. Well,
that's a lot to unpack.
Kept his mouth shut on Jones's ghost workers. Who's the Jones in question? The rape in Champaign. What is that in reference to, of course?
I want to know.
For more on this topic and others, we're pleased to be joined by John Cass, Chicago Tribune columnist. And by the way, John and his colleague at the Tribune, both on the editorial board, Kristen McQuarrie, will be filling in for me on Wednesday on the Dan Proft Show, danproftshow.com. So if you haven't listened to my other show yet, you should listen
and then
to
listen
it
on Wednesday.
Well, you should listen to John Cass and Kristen McQuarrie if you get enough of me on this show. Anyway, John, thanks for joining us. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Dan. Good morning, Amy. And yeah, we're taking it over, and we're not going to give it back.
All right, fine. Less work for me. Good. So, what about this McLean email and the Joneses ghost workers and the rape in Champaign?
The Chicago Tribune's David Heinzman reported over the weekend that it may be involved. The rape that they're talking about may have been involved with a early release, one of the Quinn early release from prisons, in which a man was accused of abusing sexually a young girl, and that's rape, obviously. And I don't know if we'll find out what that is, but that's one of the things that investigators are looking at. The question for everybody out there is, Madigan, his time is ending. You can see it. And then who steps in? Who steps in to run this decaying, tax-happy political machine? I would say the one guy with the money is Governor Big Boy. Governor Big Boy might be the beneficiary of all this. What do you think, Dan?
Well, I think that's right. Of course, sure. I mean, he'll boy, if there's something he knows how to do, it's fill a vacuum, and he'll fill that power vacuum.
But why do you think Mike Madigan's days are numbered? I mean, how can you tell?
You can tell by the kind of leaks that are coming out. Where do these leaks come from? Let's see. The feds had the emails, right? Took the emails. And then the leaks come from the emails. Well, are the feds leaking it to weaken him? Are others leaking it who may have access to the emails, had access as well? Either way, it's going to be a long, painful end to Mike Madigan's career. Sooner or later, it's going to happen.
What I hear you saying is these are probably being leaked from Democrats, perhaps Democrats that were once close to Madigan, whether it's legislators or operatives and lobbyists, and that means the fear factor is gone.
Part of the Chicago way is to understand who benefits from news stories, right? Who benefits from it's not the Republic. I mean, who's benefiting? Bill Brady, who's like basically wants to be a gaming czar and be the Republican boss of Springfield once on the Republican side, once Johnny Cullerton is gone. I think he's lost his credibility. But that crew around Madigan, they want to live. Madigan, they see Madigan as ending. They want to continue. So they'll do whatever they can and strike whatever deals they can for their own benefit.
But he doesn't.
And that's what we're seeing.
But he doesn't go away. I mean, he's not going to go away voluntarily, I would think.
Oh, no.
And so you have to have somebody. I mean, it's one thing to, surmise and to make reasonable inferences. It's another thing to put together a case that would force him out of office. And you have to have people like McLean have something on him that would take him out illegally.
You need to have something on McLean,
right,
to make him do it. And there's that. The Commonwealth Edison issue is one. The Commonwealth executives or Exelon executives are stabbing each other in the back. They're all blaming Ann Pramaggiore for the lobbying efforts when I don't really know if she was the one who was in charge of all the lobbying. I mean, maybe there might be some others who are doing it. And it's really there's a lot of smooth stilettos being used right now.
But wasn't McCain a former ComEd lobbyist?
Yes, he was.
Yeah, like half of Springfield.
Yeah, right.
But here's the thing, John, though, too, before we get too far down the rabbit hole here. I just want to pump the brakes.
I don't go in the rabbit hole.
Well, I know, but okay, so I just want to pump the brakes here. If I could, I'll just change my metaphor. It's still a case that has to be made. The idea of like ComEd swooping down and hiring a bunch of lobbyists, there's nothing illegal about that. There's nothing illegal about rent seeking, much to my chagrin. So it's still unclear to me what laws were broken, and you have to point to one if you're going to start picking people off. I mean, I know, you give somebody cash at a diner, you're bribing somebody. That's obvious. With Madigan and I assume McClain, it's going to be a lot less obvious.
Yes, but it starts with the premise, I think, that the Illinois Democratic Party for years, as their handmaidens in the Republican combine, have been nothing more than a criminal enterprise, using politics as a way to enrich themselves. And the evidence of that, obviously, Dan, are all the people moving. You mentioned the other day, you and Amy, one of you suggested that Pritzker could be the salesman of the year for U-Haul.
Right.
Right.
You can see it, right?
You just can't smoke.
People are leaving. Yeah. Right. They can't take it.
I wanted to also tackle the topic that you did in your most recent column over the weekend about the media mob, and you used some recent case studies to punctuate your point, the Richard Jewell movie and the Richard Jewell case, and Nick Sandmann, his settlement with CNN last week with other libel suits and defamation suits pending against other media outlets.
What unites Sandmann or connects Sandmann and Jewell and the way they were treated, particularly this young boy who was he was slaughtered by the media. Why was he slaughtered? Because he was a 16-year-old white kid who was wearing a MAGA hat, and he was on his way at a March for Life. And the reason why I think he was slaughtered by the media is that we've been co-opted by many on the left, and it was a warning. It was issued as a warning to anyone who would ever dare wear a MAGA hat, that if you do that, we'll destroy you. I just find this to be one of the low points. I mean, I know it happened last year, and people focus on, it's the settlement, but really, there's a larger problem in the Republic and throughout the media on this.
And what about with Richard Jewell?
I
remember that the whole thing happening too, and being in the newsroom at NBC. Like, do we really have is this right? I mean, he was a hero, and now why is he all of a sudden a suspect? And they were naming his name and showing his face and stalking him every day when he entered his apartment and when he left.
Yeah, and it was terrible. And you and I, Amy, have both been part of those media packs where we stand outside someone's house or someone's office, and they're huddling inside. Particularly, it's not a player like Mike Madigan or some big shot that has political consultants and people whining and dining unscrupulous reporters. But some average guy, man or woman, kid, being in that kind of onslaught, I think that's why I think the Richard Jewell movie is very important for all of us and for all the people listening to watch. I just think it's a good movie. There was a flaw in it, and I didn't like it. And it was the flaw of accusing an Atlanta Journal reporter of promising sex for a tip. And that was unproven, and it was an unfortunate flaw. But the larger issue about the media and the pack mentality, how we're standing on somebody's lawn, Amy, and we're telling jokes, right?
Yeah.
We're waiting for you're waiting for your live slot. We're all gossiping this and that. I'm drinking coffee and maybe having a smoke, and we're all
having
goofing around.
Well, you smoked. I didn't smoke.
No.
I watched you smoke.
John.
Oh, I know you did. Yes.
You just stood there. You had the whatever those crushed vegetable pills that you sell.
Exactly.
Balance of
right.
nature.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
but whatever it is, we're all out there, and people are dying inside. They're terrified.
Well, here's the thing. Here's the thing too, John. When the mob shows up, is the conversation that's not had enough is when and where the mob shows up and when and where it doesn't. And so in this case, just picking on Nick Sandmann for a moment, compare the treatment of Nick Sandmann to the treatment of Greta Thunberg. Now, Nick Sandmann wasn't taking any particular position other than attending a March for Life, and then he was sort of, a casualty of circumstance to some extent, and then a casualty of the mob that you described. Now, Greta Thunberg is taking actual positions, and they're being amplified by adults, including those adults in the media. But we're not allowed to address Greta Thunberg as the spokesman for her generation on the Green New Deal, or a spokesman for climate change generally in a policy discussion, because that's going after a teenager. But it was okay for them to use Nick Sandmann as a piñata for 3 days until the full video came out.
Exactly. Nick Sandmann was just a kid standing on the steps trying to stay out of, he was nervously, and he was basically assaulted by that crazy old man with the drum and the black Hebrews, or whatever they were, the racists. And Greta took it on herself to be the Joan of Arc of her generation, right? And we can't even say a thing. How dare we? How dare you?
Yes. Nobody does a Greta impersonation like John Cass. John Cass, Chicago Tribune columnist, sitting in for me with Kristen McQuarrie on Wednesday, danprofshow.com. Check your local listings, podcasts, iTunes, Spotify. Also, read John's column, if you haven't already, on Richard Jewell and Nick Sandmann, which I'll tweet out. John, thanks for joining us as always. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Dan and Amy. See you.
Take care.
Thank you. And he joined us on our turnkey.pro answer line.
It's like a hot, steaming cup of information to start your day. It's Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
Balance of nature. Changing the world, one life at a time.
This is better than I expected. You guys, your customer service and everything, you guys are great. Yeah, you're the best company out there. And the commercials, they talk about it, but a lot of times it's like, I don't know if it really gives it true justice of what this really is. People need to know. This is maybe the most amazing product I've ever tried. So you can just feel the energy. It's so pure. It tastes so good. I'm just blown away by it. It's amazing.
See how getting a variety of over 10 servings of whole fruits and vegetables every day can make a difference for you this year. To help you start your New Year's resolutions right, Balance of Nature is offering 35% off and free shipping on your first preferred order of Balance of Nature. This New Year's special won't last, so call in now. Call 800-2468-751. That's 800-2468-751. Or go to balanceofnature.com and use discount code Chicago.
The American economy remains strong, and both business owners and employees are enjoying the benefits. Here at AM 560, we want to celebrate businesses that are thriving. Are you a business owner who's part of the great American success story? If so, we want to hear from you. Once again, we're taking our show out on the road, and we'll be broadcasting from Chicagoland businesses enjoying success as they serve their customers and clients through the hard work of their employees. We want to hear your story, share your success, and find out what makes your business run. It's the Signature Bank Business Tour. To submit your business for consideration, just go to businessbanktour.com. That's businessbanktour.com, and we might be broadcasting from your location in the near future.
When it's cold outside, you can dress for it. But when your furnace gives out, hey, a blanket fort can only do so much. So call your local 1-Hour Heating and Air Conditioning. We'll replace your old furnace with a new high-efficiency one, and that beats a bunch of blankets any day. Right now, cozy up to big savings on a complete heating system. Call 855-1-HOUR.
Your comfort is just a call away. Call 1-Hour.
Terms and conditions may apply. Call for details. Independently owned and operated. Licensed in the respective state or county.
It starts with the action on the court, moves to the crowd, and is described by the broadcasters and transmitted to you. The energy, passion, and excitement will make you shout out loud. Let them hear you. It starts right here on the Husky Sports Network.
It's the Huskies against the Akron Zips this Tuesday night at 7 in IU basketball. Right here on AM 560. The Answer.
Message and data rates may apply. Individual results vary. Exclusions apply.
Contacts and glasses are such a hassle. I'd love to finally get LASIK, but
I'm going to stop you right there. If you want LASIK, then the LASIK Vision Institute has officially taken away everything standing in your way.
Isn't LASIK expensive?
Not at the LASIK Vision Institute. We're offering dramatically low prices, as low as $220 per eye, and an absolutely free consultation. See for free if LASIK is right for you by texting LIKE to 350-350.
But I'm really busy.
A text only takes seconds. The LASIK procedure typically only takes 15 15 minutes, and most patients can get back to work the following day. The LASIK Vision Institute uses the latest FDA-approved LASIK technology that helps the majority of patients achieve 20/20 vision for as little as $220 per eye. Dr. Greenberg has performed 75,000 laser eye surgeries and is one of the most experienced LASIK surgeons in Chicago.
What's that text again?
Text LIKE to 350350. That's LIKE to 350350 to schedule your free consultation today.
Imagine selling your home in under 30 days without ever listing it. It's possible with the Wexler Real Estate Group's new Instant Offer program. Just schedule a home evaluation and receive an offer for your home. You don't have to pay commissions, service fees, or buyer closing costs. There's no home improvements, inspection, repairs, open houses, or for sale signs. You don't even have to do the dishes. If you accept the offer, you pick the closing date that's convenient for you. And you can be out in less than 30 days. Hassle-free. If you do choose the traditional sales route, no problem. Ron Wexler, Tammy Northcutt, and the team at the Wexler Group at Keller Williams Preferred Realty have over 35 years of experience to help you sell your home for top dollar in today's market. For more information on the Wexler Group's Instant Offer program, call or text 708-629-5151. That's 708-629-5151. Or visit thewexlergroup.com. Certain conditions and fees apply. Ron Wexler is an Illinois licensed real estate agent serving Chicago and its suburbs.
Restaurants come and go, and very few last. But when you find a restaurant that served margaritas, fun, and fantastic food for over 2 decades, you can bet it's great. That's the one-of-a-kind landmark Cafe Salsa Mexican Grill and Tequila Bar in Countryside. Cafe Salsa offers daily lunch specials, happy hour in the bar, half-price house margaritas on Wednesdays, and on Monday and Tuesday, 2 for $22 dinner specials. Ready to eat? Try their Mexican-inspired influences on traditional fare like Cafe Salsa's honey chipotle glazed pork chops, amazing carne asada, or churrasco with mushroom salsa, fajitas, or the many flavorful shrimp, steak, and chicken dishes hot off the wood fire grill. Cafe Salsa's dining room is perfect for birthdays and family get-togethers, so check out their complete menu at cafesalsa.com or call 708-352-5100. Make your plans for lunch or dinner today at Cafe Salsa, 55th Street and LaGrange Road in Countryside, or cafesalsa.com.
AM 560, The Answer.
Top of the morning, Dan and Amy.
I love Coldplay.
It's just awful for music for people who hate music. But I'll tell you what, I guess being married to Gwyneth Paltrow is Chris Martin's punishment for making terrible music, but Gwyneth Paltrow continues to punish her fans, among other things. Gwyneth Paltrow is selling a candle
that smells like potpourri, fresh daisies in a springtime field.
Well, let me tell you what the candle is a blend of,
Okay.
and then you tell me what that might
What
smell
the title
like.
should be, or what is it?
Yeah, right. It's a blend of geranium, citrusy bergamot, cedar absolutes juxtaposed with a damask rose and ambrette seed that puts us in the mind of fantasy, seduction, and, this is the real tell, a sophisticated warmth.
Gardens by the ocean.
A $75 candle
Yeah.
that features that blend is entitled, "This Smells Like My Vagina."
We say vajayjay. That's disgusting, but of course, it's sold out right away. They go for $75.
The wellness company that is selling it is called Goop.
Oh, okay, that's even worse.
Talk about Dickensian.
Oh my gosh. Wasn't it a joke though? Didn't these?
Honey, could you get me a "This Smells Like My Vagina" candle from Goop?
So yeah, in the test round, they sold out within hours.
Mm-hmm. Not a traditional brand, Goop.
Well, okay.
In 2018, for example, the company settled a 6-figure lawsuit surrounding their vagina eggs, which were promoted to help regulate females' hormones and negate menstrual cramps. Why just females?
Yeah, men have their period too. They menstruate.
That's correct. Uh-huh.
Okay. Well, I guess it started out as a joke, and they took it, and they went with it.
The best reaction, or the best response I saw on Twitter
What,
to
her
this?
kids responding?
No.
Mom, hello.
The best
Please don't light that up in the house.
For those who want the same set but can't afford the $75, Starkist has come out with a knockoff.
Oh, gross.
And it was a can of Starkist with a candle on it.
Oh. Okay, gross. Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
We'll take a cleansing breath at 8:08.
And it's 8 a.m. right now, WIND, Chicago.
They're protesting in Iran a third day in a row. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. What started as candlelight vigils grew into demonstrations. People angry over Iran shooting down that Ukrainian passenger jet last week.
Mourning the 16 Iranian students among the 176 innocent civilians on board the doomed 737. The crowd calling on the Ayatollah to step down and for those responsible to be fired and put on trial, chanting death to the dictator and death to liars. But security forces and Iranian police in riot gear fired tear gas and live bullets with reports of people wounded and pools of blood on the ground.
Fox's Rick Leventhal. In Iraq, U.S. troops are cleaning up rubble at a military base housing Americans hit last week by Iran's retaliatory missile strikes. There are craters in the ground and debris, but nobody was killed or hurt. And the Senate will finally get the impeachment case as soon as tomorrow, maybe, which President Trump calls a hoax, which accused him of abuse of power and obstruction of Congress. Fox's Rachel Sutherland, live in Washington.
Dave, the articles are expected to be escorted through the Capitol in a procession led by the House and Senate sergeants at arms. Then the ball is in the Senate's court. Majority Leader Mitch McConnell is backing a resolution to dismiss the articles. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi accusing Republicans of a cover-up on ABC's This Week.
We want the American people to see the truth. And why are they afraid of the truth?
Republican Senator Rick Scott on Fox's Sunday Morning Futures.
I don't know how you're going to vote on something when we can't even find the crime that he supposedly committed.
If a trial is held, impeachment managers named by Speaker Pelosi would present the Democrats' case. Dave?
Rachel, the Oscar nominations are out. Joker leads the way with 11.
My mother always tells me to smile and put on a happy face.
Joaquin Phoenix also up for an Academy Award for Best Actor. Joker also up for Best Picture, competing against Ford versus Ferrari, The Irishman, Jojo Rabbit, Little Women, Marriage Story, 1917, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, Parasite. America's listening to Fox.
Cloudy skies, 30 degrees. 8:02 is our time on AM 560, The Answer, and good morning. I'm Mike Scott. The Pentagon releasing the names of the 2 soldiers killed in Afghanistan over the weekend. The troops were from the Army Airborne and named Ian McLaughlin from Virginia and Miguel Villalone from Aurora. Villalone attended East Aurora High School. DuPage County authorities are set to announce new developments today in the unsolved murder of a teen girl 4 decades ago. In Lisle, Pamela Maurer's body was found in 1976 along College Road in Lisle. A man is dead, another wounded following a shooting on Chicago's west side. The men were sitting in a vehicle last night in the 4300 block of West Thomas when someone approached and opened fire. Repairs are needed following that big winter storm over the weekend. The lakefront pounded by big waves and strong winds. Waves pushing aside concrete barriers and leaving lakefront trails damaged. Chicago sports, Bulls on the road tonight to take on the Celtics. Chicago snapping a 6-game losing streak by beating the Pistons on Saturday. Blackhawks visit the Senators tomorrow night. It's 8:03. It's time for the AM 560 Business Beat, a service of Signature Bank, helping local businesses succeed. Visit signaturebank.bank for your commercial banking needs. And now the latest from the Fox Business Network.
I'm Deirdre Bolton, and this is the Fox Business Report.
Ford's vehicle sales in China slumped 26% last year, its 3rd straight year of losing ground there. Its business in China has been slipping since late 2017. There are more than 30 new Ford models planned for China over the next 3 years, though, and more than a third of them will be electric. Ford does say it's seeing sales of high-end to premium vehicles stabilize, a bright spot in the report, and Ford shares are higher. Abercrombie & Fitch shares are losing ground after the clothing retailer predicted its sales in the current quarter will be flat to up just 2%. Home furnishings company At Home Group is raising its forecast for the current quarter, and Alaska Airlines is offering discounts to fly to Fairbanks or Anchorage to see the Northern Lights through February 12th. Fares are being cut up to 35%. That's your Fox Business Report. I'm Ginny Cosolda, invested in you.
8:04 and a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Sean Hannity explains the conflict with Iran.
None of this should be really hard to understand. It's not that difficult to know that this is a huge, huge step forward to making the world a safer place with all the evil that we know exists in it. We are talking about the number one state sponsors of terrorism around the globe.
The Sean Hannity Show. Afternoons at 2 on AM 560. The Answer.
Hi, this is Dan Frio with the Mortgage Update. Daily you hear guys on the radio going back and forth about how they're better than the other guy, and then you hear how their team can help you buy or refinance a home. But answer this, are they a direct lender who has the ability to approve, underwrite, and close your loan? I am. Are they a middleman who's at the mercy of another company? I'm not. When you call, do you speak with the person who's telling you how great they are? Or are you talking to a salesperson? Not me. You work with me personally. And last, I put my money where my mouth is. I offer an exclusive rate match program for those times when I don't have the best rate. So to work with me personally, call 844-775-LOAN. That's 844-775-LOAN. Or find me on the web at windmortgage.com. That's windmortgage.com.
Parkside Lending, LLC is an Illinois residential mortgage licensee and an equal housing lender. NMLS 176162.
This is a last chance alert. It's happening. In just days, Publishers Clearinghouse will award $5,000 a week forever. Enter now at PCH.com and you could win $5,000 a week for your life. Plus, after that, $5,000 a week for life for someone you choose. The $5,000 a week forever prize is guaranteed to be awarded on February 28th. So don't miss your last chance to win. Enter at PCH.com before it's too late. That's PCH.com. Hurry, award day is almost here. Go to PCH.com now. Entries due 2/25. No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited.
New year, new budgets. Every small business has unique needs. When you partner with a Dell Small Business Technology Advisor, you get real-time, tailored advice. They'll even give you a free audit on your servers and storage devices to develop a custom solution to help improve your company's productivity. Plus, right now, upgrade to Windows 10 and get up to 45% off select business computers with Intel Core processors. To speak with a Dell advisor, call 877-BY-DELL. That's 877-BY-DELL.
8:07 AM 560 traffic center time and Jim Telemonte.
Metro North Central trains are stopped in both directions near Buffalo Grove due to police investigation. Inbound Kennedy at Armitage, there's a crash in the left lane. Looking at about an hour and 2 minutes. O'Hare to downtown, it's quicker in the express. 8 and 26 minutes. Lake Hook to the junction. How about 42? The Eisenhower's an hour and 5 minutes. 390 to downtown. 52 minutes from Manheim. Stevenson, an hour, 3:55 to the drive to Ryan, 50 minutes from 95th. Northbound tri-state delays are 95th to 47th, and from the Reagan tollway to past the Eisenhower. Southbound from the Ike to near Ogden for the crash on the right side. Reagan tollway delays are Farnsworth to Mill and 53 to 355. I'm Jim Telemonte on AM 560 The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. In our 1 hour heating and air conditioning weather center, our meteorologist Steve Williams.
Today, mostly cloudy skies and the high today at 38. Cloudy with a shower in spots toward dawn. Tonight, low 30. Partly sunny, mild tomorrow, the high 40. Some snow and rain at times on Wednesday afternoon. No accumulation expected, high 37. I'm Steve Williams on AM 560, The Answer.
31 at O'Hare. Next news, 8:30. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
Listen to AM 560, The Answer, online at 560theanswer.com, on the AM 560 mobile app, and your Alexa-powered smart speaker, on TuneIn, iHeart, and radio.com. This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560, The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy, and interesting piece, thehill.com, Merrill Matthews, resident scholar with the Institute for Policy Innovation in Dallas, writing, 9 years ago, I published a piece that asserted voters around the country are concluding it's better to be red than dead, applying almost the exact opposite meaning to an old phrase referring to communism. Yeah, his point, that voters were increasingly fed up with states where they had high taxes, heavy regulations, cultural Marxism. Blue states like, say, Illinois, California, New York, New Jersey. Matthews goes on, I argue that voters wanting to live in a business-friendly, fiscally responsible state that minimizes the tax burden would either vote out the liberals destroying their state's economy or flee to a red state. Well, in states like California, New York, Illinois, New Jersey, voting out the leftists doesn't seem to be an option, so people are pursuing the alternative that Matthews outlined. The red state leader, Texas, with a projected pickup of 3 congressional seats following the 2020 census. After that, gaining 4 congressional seats, after gaining 4 congressional seats in 2010. I mean, 7 seats over the last 2 censuses, Texas. Florida to pick up 2, Arizona, Colorado, Montana.
How many Montana pick
1. I mean, to
Well,
go
that's
from 1
big,
to
though.
2, that's doubling, right.
Yeah.
Arizona, Colorado, Montana, North Carolina, Oregon, each will gain 1, all but Oregon, and Colorado's a swing, but all but Oregon otherwise are red states, really. The 10 states losing population, losing
Let me
congressional
guess.
seats.
Illinois is on that list, of course.
California, Illinois, Minnesota, New York, Pennsylvania, Rhode Island, West Virginia, Michigan, Alabama. Of the 7 seats gaining seats, 5 voted for Trump and 16. Of the 10 states losing seats, 5 voted for Trump and 5 voted for Hillary. So that's what's happening. There is a flight to quality, as you will, if you will, and I mean it's very much like the economics 101 adage: money goes where it's treated best, capital goes where it's treated best, and so do the people who possess that capital, and that is consistent with this piece in the Journal, Wall Street Journal. In Florida, homeowners come for the weather and stay for the tax relief. You can imagine my interest in this piece as a property owner in Naples.
It's called, then the subline is the Dan Proft story.
Really? It truly is.
And they interviewed a lot of people that said, they were surprised by how much of a financial savings it is by moving to Florida. Crazy money, they describe it.
Right.
And I want some crazy money.
And this focuses on people that are very wealthy. But look, you go from a state like Illinois where you're paying 4%, 3.95% state income tax, which is potentially going to go up precipitously in the near, not too distant future. But then the property tax, the overall state and local tax burden, which is the highest in the nation. And you go to Florida, and if your job is portable, then you can give yourself a 10 to 15 to 20% salary increase just by moving. So you make up that pretty quick once you change residences. And frankly, it's the same thing with respect to Illinois versus Indiana, which is why Indiana is in 3rd place in terms of where residents are fleeing. That's substantial because you're not fleeing to Indiana for weather. You're fleeing to Indiana for quality of life at a particular price point, which brings us to the author of this piece about Florida specifically, but it's a piece really about sort of big blue states and deep red states that are attracting those former blue state residents. The author is Beth DeCarbo. She's a writer of Wall Street Journal's Counting House, the Mansion section's biweekly column about the personal finances of owning a home. Beth, thanks so much for joining us. We appreciate it.
Good morning.
Good morning. And so, in Illinois, there's been some survey research done. The Paul Simon Institute at the University of Southern Illinois did a survey of, the percentage of people who want to leave Illinois and the main reason why they want to leave. We have the highest in the nation at nearly half the population that wants to leave the state, which is sort of incredible in a state of 13 million people. And the number one reason that they cite up and down the income quintiles is taxes. And that's sort of what your piece speaks to about Florida.
That's right. I really focused on state income taxes. And when you look at Illinois, it's a flat tax, as you know, at 4.95%, which is actually pretty low compared to other kind of high tax states. Actually, though, when you look at the overall tax burden, Illinois is, as you said, the highest in the country. It has the 2nd highest in the nation property taxes. It has the 3rd highest gas taxes and fees in the country. And even its state income tax, while low, is still the 7th highest in the U.S. So it's a pretty heavy burden that Illinois residents pay.
Yeah, I think I said 3.95%. Of course, I misspoke. 4.95%. I was more focused on where we're going to find it in after November of 2020 with a referendum on the
Right.
ballot. But you profile some couples and families that have been successful and the sort of savings they achieve by moving from a high tax state like Illinois or New York to the low tax state of Florida. Can you give us an anecdote or two?
Sure. I really looked at very high income folks moving from the Northeast. New York is a particularly interesting case because not only do they have a state income tax, but if their residence is in New York City, they have a New York City income tax as well. So let's say you have a married couple filing jointly and they're together making $500,000 a year in taxable income. That couple, by moving to Florida, which has no state income tax, save $30,957, so $31,000. If that same couple lived in Massachusetts, the savings would be $25,000, and in Connecticut, like Greenwich, it would be almost $29,000. So you think about that savings year after year, and it is crazy money.
And the other thing that's interesting from your piece too is, and just speaks to demand, right? Is where home sales are occurring. So where do you have a robust real estate market? It's not Chicago, I know that. It's not Illinois. Where do we have the most robust real estate markets?
It would be in Florida. It's in South Florida. So you're thinking like Miami Beach and Fort Lauderdale. That's where you're really seeing the growth. But it's also where the average home prices are the highest. So when I looked at the top 10% of home values in South Florida, the number one was in the Keys with an average home value of $2.8 million. Miami-Dade was $2 million. So, we're talking about the top 10%, but the point is that where you move in Florida also makes a big financial difference.
Well, I'll tell you, it's interesting because I'll just tell my story without getting into too much of the.
No, I want
details.
all the digits.
But here's the thing, and this is a real thing, and I'm not in the J-Lo, Ken Griffin mega mansion on the intercoastal range or anything like that. But in Chicago, 1-bedroom condo, 1,100 square feet. In Naples, I have a 3-bedroom home. That's 1,800 square feet. The home in Naples is 3x the market value of my condo in Chicago, and my property taxes are the same.
Wow.
And that's a state, right? And that's property taxes are the same, and Florida is a state with zero income tax. So, and this is a big populous state, too. It's not one of these arguments that's made by policymakers. Oh, well, sure, Montana or Wyoming, there's nobody there and so on and so forth. This is a popular, diverse state, as is Texas, more popular, a higher population, and more diverse or just as Illinois. And so there's something else going on in comparison to these states beyond just diversity in urban centers and those sorts of things.
Dan, I'm curious, in your scenario, what do you claim is your primary residence? Is it Illinois or is it Florida?
Or is it going to be changing soon?
Yeah, let me say it's Illinois for now. But seriously, like everybody in Illinois who can afford a U-Haul truck, and we're number one in the nation in outgoing U-Haul rentals, I have an exit strategy. And that's a sad commentary, not to be flippant for a minute. It's a sad commentary because there's a lot of people like me, and I'm sure that's the case in New York and New Jersey and Connecticut and California, who love the city, love where they live, don't want to leave, but they just can't make it make sense to be where they are anymore. It's just not worth it.
Well, the reason I asked is that when you claim Florida as your primary residence, your taxes could decrease because you have a homestead exemption and any other state and local breaks, depending on where you move, that your property taxes will go down.
Wow. Look at him, so happy
The news
over
just
there.
keeps getting better. Beth, do you do outside consultant work? Yeah.
I can make it better, even better than that.
Yeah.
Once you claim Florida as your primary residence, there's also no estate tax, and that's a big deal too.
That is a big deal.
Yeah, and actually, when you see a hedge fund person who is worth $25 million moving to Florida, losing that estate tax, that's real money for the heirs as well.
No, I mean, it's one of the running jokes in Illinois is I'm gonna stay here for a while, but I know I'm not allowed to die here. I
Yeah,
can't
you
die
can't
here.
die
If
here.
you have anything to pass on to your heirs, you can't die here. It's true.
Right.
So what-
But I want to defend. I do kind of want to defend the state. You have great colleges. You have a rich history, a lot of great sports teams, a diverse population, vibrant art scene, and hey, number one, no hurricanes.
It's true, although
Well, but we get
Naples is a bit
tornadoes
insulated
and
from hurricanes.
snowstorms.
And also, we only have the White Sox now in terms of great sports teams.
I don't
the
even know
others
if
are
that
not
would
so
qualify.
great. Yeah.
But Beth, tell me what's going on in Montana. So many people moving there that they're adding one more congressional seat.
I think Montana is kind of an interesting state. It has an income tax, so it's not that people are going there to save on income taxes, but I think you see a lot of out-migration to from other states to Montana, and since more people can work remotely, they can go to Montana, somewhere more remote, and get their work done. Actually, more than Montana, Idaho is actually the number one growing state between 2018 and 19, according to the census. Its population went up 2.1%, which is pretty significant. To compare it with Illinois, that was down 0.4%, which you think is really nothing, but in fact, Illinois ranks number 3 in out-migration, only behind New York and California.
And Idaho is beautiful. I don't know if you've been there, but I know a couple that's because of this. We have selective enrollment here in Illinois, so you have to apply for high schools, and they're moving to Idaho, where their second home is, just to avoid that and have her go to high school there.
And you're seeing a lot of tech folks moving to Idaho as well.
Well, and the other thing, too, with all of this migration happening, the redistribution of the population, if you will, organically, what we haven't mentioned, but it's important to mention, is that a lot of these individuals moving are taking their businesses with them. It's not just residential property. It's not just somebody's household income. It's relocating businesses to other states.
Right. I really mainly focused on residential, but however, there was an analysis by Bloomberg that looked at income migration. So we're not talking businesses, but we're just talking about income migration. I don't know the Illinois number, but Florida nets $17.2 billion in just inbound moves. And so that's a lot of money that's moving across state lines, and that also means that the high-tax states are losing that income.
Yeah, over the last decade, Illinois has lost $30 billion in GDP, $30 billion. She is Beth DeCarbo, writer of the Wall Street Journal's Counting House, the Mansion section's biweekly column about the personal finances of owning a home. Beth, thank you so much for joining us, and your consultation on my future life in Florida. I appreciate it.
Well, good luck. Thanks, Dan and Amy.
Take care.
Thanks, Beth. And she joined us on our turnkey Pro answer line.
You're listening to Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560. The Answer.
Is this your situation? Cellular or data services are bad inside your building or vehicle? People notice. People complain. This is Kelly Piles. My company is PC Net Services. We can fix that annoying problem. Resolving this is not as complicated or as expensive as you might think, but it does make a difference. I have worked with the largest cellular providers in the nation. We could approve your cellular and data signal inside your building with all major carriers. No more dropped calls, no more complaints. First responders, government agencies, and business owners have used us to get a better signal inside their building. We can do the same for you. PCNet Services, a service-disabled, veteran-owned small business connecting you to the world.
Get better cell service in your building, no matter which carrier. For a free analysis, call PCNet Services, 815-545-4439. 815-545-4439.
Oh, Justin just brought it in. Balance of nature time. Every day around this time, I put 3 capsules of the fruits into warm water. Coats my throat, helps me feel better, helps me cough less. And right now, we should be taking both the fruits and veggies, 6 capsules actually, because you're getting 10 servings of 31 fruits and veggies, and we need our fruits and veggies. Why? Well, to boost our immune system, because admit it, we're not getting enough fruits and veggies on our own, which is where balance of nature comes in. So start taking the Balance of Nature Challenge and get healthier this 2020. You know, folks, flus, colds, everyone has them, and it's only January, and experts are predicting a terrible flu season this year. So do what I started doing again and take Balance of Nature to boost your immune system. Experience the Balance of Nature difference for yourself. Call or go online now and become a preferred customer, which gives you the best pricing and free shipping. Plus, right now, you'll receive 35% off your first order. This is a limited time offer, so do not wait. Call 800-246-8751. That's 800-246-8751. Use discount code Chicago or go to balanceofnature.com. Discount code Chicago.
Impact Mortgage Corp. DBA Cash Call Mortgage. NMLS ID 128231. Equal housing lender. Not licensed in all states including New York. Offer not available in Washington. Call 855-657-9910 for licensing terms and restrictions.
If you're a homeowner, I've got great news that could save you money. In response to rising home prices, federal housing officials have stepped in to help make mortgages more affordable. Here's how. Some mortgage loans with specific maximum amounts are backed by government agencies, and those borrowers receive lower interest rates because the government insures them. But now the government is expanding the limits of these types of loans by 10% or higher. So what does that mean for you? It means a lot of people with mortgages will now qualify for lower interest rates because of this government expansion, and they don't even know it. So how do you know if you qualify? Easy. Just speak with one of our loan agents and ask if your mortgage now qualifies for a lower interest rate because of expanding loan limits.
For a free quote, visit cashcallmortgage.com or call 800-457-6947. That's 800-457-6947. 800-457-6947.
Elevators and escalators are used thousands of times a day in millions of buildings around the world, and we rarely think about them. That is, until something goes wrong. Buildings spend a fortune on maintenance and repairs and yet still seem to experience issue after issue. If you're a property owner or manager, keeping the elevators safe and operational is at the forefront. But how much do you actually know about one of the biggest assets in your building? Elevators and escalators are highly specialized equipment, so the answer is probably not enough, but that's okay, because the elevator consultants are here to help. The Elevator Consultants levels the playing field for building owners and property managers, ensuring your equipment is running smoothly and affordably, especially if using the Elevator app, a game-changing technology that tracks all maintenance activity. Call the Elevator Consultants at 312-519-9949 or visit theelevatorconsultants.com to set up a free consultation. Call the Elevator Consultants, 312-519-9949.
AM 560, The Answer.
Dan and Amy getting a lot of reaction to our conversation about moving to somewhere other than Illinois. Verlon on the south side. You're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Yeah, Dan, I don't know if this correlates with what you were just talking about, but I just wanted to know if you are aware of this law that California passed called a no-gig economy.
Yeah, we've talked about it, where it basically negatively impacts freelancers and companies that employ freelancers, and Uber suing, and trucking associations have sued, and actually got the law enjoined with respect to trucking, but you still have other gig economy concerns that are going to change the way they do their business in California, meaning pass the costs on to consumers like Uber if they're unable to overturn that law. So, yes, I mean, this is more another example of the left being very cavalier about the lives of others, including the lives of a lot of people who voted for those same leftists like Gavin Newsom. Thanks.
All right.
Thanks, Verlon. We're on it.
I agree with Rick. I don't know what she was talking about.
Rick in Downers Grove.
What was that?
Hey, how you guys doing? I agree with everything your guest says, except when she said the great history of Illinois, I ran into a major problem with what she was saying.
Yeah.
She was saying you got the great parks and the great restaurants, the great sports teams. I would have been like, whoa.
No, I said.
Yeah, he stuck up for his White Sox. Fake news, saying that they're the best.
Oh, really?
Chicago sports team.
Have you seen their 2020 lineup?
I know.
Thanks for the call, Rick.
Yeah,
You're
but
right.
can they work well together? Can they play well together as a team?
We're going to see, but that is a murderer's row, not to get too hyperbolic, but that is, I'm not going to bring the 27 Yankees quite yet, but that is a World Series championship team if Kopech and the pitching comes back and holds up, and you got a little bit left in Keuchel and whatnot. But, yeah, I mean, that's the only team. The Hawks aren't going to the playoffs. Much to my chagrin. The Bulls are one of the worst teams in basketball.
Yeah.
The Cubs are past their sell-by date.
Regrouping.
The Bears, I mean,
Here.
do we even have to comment on the Bears and how disappointing this season was? Mike in Lake Forest.
What you just said is right on, and I'm a member of the Florida bar, a member of the California bar. Years ago, I knew Illinois was going downhill. The number one law practice now, Dan and Amy, is how to make sure that you're a Florida domicile so Illinois doesn't pull you back.
Yeah.
Go to Amazon. One of the number one selling books is the Florida Domicile Handbook, which you probably have to buy. It tells you, it's by a law firm, what you have to do, because Illinois, California, New York, the number one thing, they want to pull people back for taxes because they know that they're in trouble.
Yeah, you're right. I know stories. Thanks for the call, Mike, and I'm sure you do too. I know stories of people that are, been fighting with the Department of Revenue in Illinois in particular, but the other states as well. Illinois Department of Revenue getting more aggressive because there is so much out-migration of wealth. They can't keep, it makes it just that much more difficult to keep the house of cards up. You're right. Mike in Park Ridge.
Hi, Dan. Just a quick point of order. In addition to those states like Texas and Montana picking up congressional seats, those also equate to additional electoral votes.
You're right. Thanks for the call, Mike. And so the political clout is moving south and southeast and southwest, isn't it? And this is the point the Tribune editorialized on the other week, which is, oh, by the way, hey, Illinois, you're losing clout in D.C., too, because of your stupid policies that are driving people from this state. But they don't care. Sean in Elmwood Park.
Did you do the whole segment without mentioning the Genius Broker, phenomenal real estate company that found, negotiated, and managed the very deal you're proud of? Liberty Real Estate Services, Sean M. Thompson, proprietor. Did you forget?
No, he didn't
to mention it all.
You did, because he forgot to mention it.
Thanks for the call, Sean. I mean,
It's like getting an Oscar and you're forgetting who created you and who made you.
Yeah, but this is the point. I mean, it's baiting Sean because nobody toots his own horn the way Sean does. So why do I have to do it? Just let him do it. Just turn it over to him. He'll do it himself.
Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Hey,
we're going to talk about the royal couple?
I don't think so. What are you doing to prepare for Black Lives Matter week at your kid's school? It's just a couple of weeks away. Black Lives Matter week. What are you doing? You aware of it? You know what the curriculum is? At 8:38.
But now let's head straight into the newsroom. Here is Mike Scott.
Gray skies, 31 degrees. And in Yellowstone, Montana, authorities investigating say they have found the wreckage of a light plane over the weekend that crashed in Yellowstone County. 4 are dead in that single-engine Cessna. Nominations for the 2020 Academy Awards are out. Actress Issa Rae announcing the category for Best Actor in a Supporting Role.
Tom Hanks in A Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood. Anthony Hopkins in The Two Popes. Al Pacino in The Irishman. Joe Pesci in The Irishman. And Brad Pitt in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
House Speaker Nancy Pelosi says Democrats will meet tomorrow to decide when she believes the Senate will get the articles of impeachment.
We would vote to send them over, and we'll determine in our meeting when we send them over.
California Democrat has been sharply criticized by members of her own party who have said it's time to send the articles over. Tehran police reportedly fired live rounds at demonstrators protesting on Sunday. Authorities blame severe storms sweeping across southern portions of the U.S. into the Midwest for the deaths of 11. Red-hot lava gushing out of a volcano near the Philippine capital, thousands fleeing the area through heavy ash. Clouds of ash blowing far north of the tall volcano, reaching Manila. DuPage County authorities set to announce this morning new developments in the unsolved murder of a teenage girl, Pamela Maurer, 4 decades ago in Lisle. And in Chicago, the investigation continues. One man was found dead, another wounded following a shooting on the west side. Bulls take on the Celtics tonight. The news, a service of Staples, with a huge selection of ink and toner in stock at low prices. This week, save $25 when you buy any 2 HP toners, so you'll get more for less at Staples, where there's a whole lot more in store. Offer ends 1/18/20. Restrictions apply. See store staples.com/toner savings for details. Staples. 8:34 and a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Mike Gallagher isn't sure which side the Democrats are on.
The Democrats are virtually on the side of Iran, as the daughter of Soleimani has vowed that there is going to be a dark event happening against the United States as they are promising to literally attack the White House. The Democrats seem to be siding with our enemy.
The Mike Gallagher Show, weekdays at 9, right before Dennis Prager at 11 on AM 560. The Answer.
A business needs to be built on a great foundation, one with the framework of integrity and tradition. Chapel Design Build delivers just that, providing design build and general contracting services using Butler Steel Building Systems. Their projects dot the landscape from O'Hare to DeKalb. You see their work in office and warehouse additions, recreational facilities, large-scale distribution centers, and manufacturing plants all over northern Illinois. Partnering with Butler Steel Buildings, Chapel Design Build has developed an extensive subcontractor base and valuable market knowledge to get your quality-built project completed on time and on budget, ensuring your project is a success for your business and one that you will be proud of for years to come. The goal is to build lasting relationships with their clients using buildings that last from Butler. Get started on your next building project built with Butler Steel. Visit chapeldb.com. That's Chapel D as in design, B as in build.com.
This is Jay Farner, CEO of Quicken Loans, and we want to help your house feel more like a home with some of the lowest refinancing rates ever. Rates have dropped so much that many Americans can reduce their rate. You may be able to save money on your monthly mortgage payment right now. The rate today on our 30-year fixed-rate mortgage is 3.99%, APR 4.23%. Call us at 800-QUICKEN or go to rocketmortgage.com.
Rates subject to change. Pay 2% fee to receive this discounted rate. Call for cost information and conditions. Equal housing lender. Licensed in all 50 states. NMLS number 3030.
Sebastian Gorka here. Maybe you've been hearing about Relief Factor, the 100% drug-free supplement that helps a person's body deal with inflammation and pain. You've heard all the wonderful testimonials. Well, I have my own testimonial. For many years, my lower back pain was becoming a serious problem. The short story is, I finally gave it a try, and now I'm out of pain too. So if you're in pain, you can order the 3-week quick start for just $19.95. Go to relieffactor.com.
It's open enrollment season, and Medishare is a Christian healthcare sharing ministry that saves most families about $500 a month. Google Medishare and see if it is a fit for you.
8:37 AM 560 traffic center time, and Jim Telemonte.
Inbound Kennedy delays start at Harlem. It is an hour and 3 minutes. O'Hare to downtown, 40 minutes from Montrose, 39 in the Express. Outbound, 40 minutes to the airport. Eden's 26 minutes, Lake Cook Junction, outbound 41. Eisenhower, an hour and 8 minutes, 390 to downtown, 52 minutes from Mannheim, outbound 51 minutes to 390. Stevenson, an hour and 5 minutes, 355 to the drive, outbound 41 minutes. The Ryan, 50 minutes, 95th to downtown. Northbound tri-state delays are Ogden to 31st and from the Reagan Tollway to Irving Park. Also, it's heavy farther south, 83rd Street to 47th. Northbound Veterans Memorial, traffic slow, Mountain Toll to the Reagan Tollway. Reagan Tollway still heavy, Naperville to 355. I'm Jim Telemonte.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next in our 1-hour heating and air conditioning weather center. Cloudy and 38 today, 31 officially at O'Hare. Next news at 9. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
Listen to AM 560, The Answer, online at 560theanswer.com, on the AM 560 mobile app, and your Alexa-powered smart speaker, on TuneIn, iHeart, and radio.com. Let freedom ring this afternoon at 2 with Sean Hannity on AM 560, The Answer.
Top of the morning, Dan and Amy. Black Lives Matter week at your local school, and by your local school, I mean like pre-K through K-12. I'll give you an example of what is scheduled. And by the way, of course, you know, National Black Lives Matter week. I assume you know in Lakeview.
No, I never. This first I'm hearing about it, Dan.
February 3rd to the 7th.
Okay.
We go to one of our favorite school districts for inanity. That would be
New Trier?
Evanston, Skokie, District 65.
Skokieston, we call it.
Of course, they'll be participating in National Black Lives Matter week in February. because of their strong commitment to racial equity. This is from their site. From pre-K to 8th grade, students will discuss race and racism in their classroom with the guidance of their teacher. This learning will be greatly supported by conversations parents have at the home with their children. Well, get ready for those conversations if you're not a woke walker. And this goes all the way back to that imbroglio with I Hate White People Day at Nutria High School a few years ago, which they discontinued because of the reaction from parents and families, those conversations parents had with their kids.
Yeah, and your
after
group
that
got
event.
involved too, didn't they? And we're not. Well, parents got involved and said something.
Yes. Here's the lesson planning for District 65. Monday, February 3rd. Mark this down. Take some notes. Restorative justice, empathy, and loving engagement. Tuesday, the topic header, diversity and globalism. Wednesday, trans-affirming, queer-affirming, and collective value.
I think I'm going to be sick on Wednesday.
I'm sorry, what does that have to do with Black Lives Matter exactly?
Nothing.
Well.
Now they're combining issues. And
Of course
that's when
they
things
are.
get muddled and stupid.
This is the identitarian agenda. This is cultural Marxism. This isn't limited to a particular race. It's an ideology. Knock, knock. Anybody home? Thursday, intergenerational black families and black villages.
What?
Uh-huh. Friday, black women and unapologetically black. Okay. Is anybody asking for an apology? No, I didn't think so. And they provide some source material to sort of get you warmed up for the week.
Oh, some pre-reading materials that I need to go over.
Yeah.
Basically homework for the weekend.
Yeah. Like this piece from Andrew Grant Thomas, again, from their website, District 65. Your 5-year-old is already racially biased. Yeah. But here's what you can do about it. There's good news. Your 5-year-old is not beyond salvation yet. What to do about your 5-year-old racist? Are you interested? 312-642-5600, turnkey.pro answer line. 64636-DA, turnkey.pro text line. You interested in the indoctrination of your children? And I mean, as I said, at the pre-K through K-12 range. Here's what Andrew Grant Thomas offers about that 5-year-old white supremacist you have at home. He tells a little bit of a story. Administrators at Fox Chapel Middle School in Spring Hill, Florida, recently fired a teacher who gave her 6th graders an assignment asking to consider how comfortable they would be in the company of various people. Some of the 41 scenarios identify these others in terms of race, ethnicity, nationality, or religion. For example, your new roommate is a Palestinian and Muslim. A group of young black men are walking toward you on the street. The young man sitting next to you on the airplane is an Arab. Your new suite mates are Mexican. Your assigned lab partner is a fundamentalist Christian. How comfortable would you be in those various scenarios? Many Fox Hill parents were upset about this identity politics in the classroom for 6th graders. One parent saying, their kids, let them be kids. Why are they asking these questions? I just don't think it needs to be something that's brought into school. Well, au contraire, writes Andrew Grant Thomas, one of these consultant, agitators. Such sentiments are familiar. The kids don't need to be exposed to this. And deeply misguided. In the United States, a lot of us believe that children, especially white children, are racial innocents. Completely naive, curiously fragile. What you say is important, but what you do, how diverse your circle of friends is, for example, will probably have a bigger impact on your child. If he doesn't attend a diverse school, if you're able, consider enrolling him in activities such as sports leagues that are diverse. Choose books, toys, and movies that include people of different races and ethnicities. Visit museums and exhibits about a range of cultures and religions. Sure, okay. You do that anyway. I don't need some race-hustling consultant to tell me to expose my child to the full range of human offerings. This whole diversity thing, I say again, is so infuriating because diversity doesn't need a steward. It occurs naturally. It's part of the human condition. And it's funny because I grew up in a predominantly white community. went to predominantly white schools.
Racist.
I know. Well, sure. As a 5-year-old, apparently, I was already.
Do you have any white guilt?
No. But predominantly white schools all the way through high school. My high school, Bennett Academy, I think there were like 3 black kids out of 300 in my high school. And I didn't need to go to Northwestern or Loyola Law or live in Chicago to understand that somebody of a different race or religion than me was equal in value to me. You know how I came to understand that? At those predominantly white schools and a predominantly white community? Through the religious instruction I received. That's how. So you can abide these race hustlers, race racketeers, if you want, that are perpetuating the victimology culture in certain minority communities as a predicate to advance, to advance sort of Marxist groupthink. Or you can chart a different course. Where you're not suggesting that 5-year-olds have to be deprogrammed of something that for which they have not been programmed. In point of fact, the programmers are these consultants that woke school districts and the Marxists who run the teachers' unions bring in
Yeah, and
to
they pay
program.
them probably big money, too, to come in and push their propaganda. Just let it happen naturally. Don't tell a kid who's 5 who's white that being white is bad. I mean, that's the problem. And then, then if an African-American student's with them, they look at them differently because they told them that we are different instead of just letting it happen.
And I go back to the New Trier I Hate White People seminar. Why won't you, if you're so interested in perspectives, this piece, Andrew Grant Thomas, what's the one thing he doesn't say you should expose your children to? Choose books and toys and movies, include people of different races and ethnicities. Let your child see your face. Let your child see you face your own biases. Give your children an example of bias that you hold or have. Share with your children what you do to confront and overcome bias. What's the one category that Mr. Grant Thomas doesn't suggest exposing your children to? Opinions that differ from his. And it was the same thing at New Trier. Go ahead, bring in your race hustlers from the Al Sharpton School of Racial Polarization. Go ahead. Bring in your victimology propagandists. Go ahead. But also bring in, Thomas Sowell, Jason Riley, Linda Chavez, John McWhorter. Bring in somebody that has a different perspective on the same topic. Why are you afraid to have that conversation? Why are you afraid to have your child exposed to different perspectives from people who have the same sort of standing to offer their perspectives? In fact, there's a lot of conservative academic intellects that are black who have more standing than the race hustlers because they were actually part of the civil rights movement. They actually lived through Jim Crow. The people like Walter Williams and Thomas Sowell in their 80s now. Why are you afraid to hear their views? Why are you afraid to expose your children to their views? Why are your teachers and administrators afraid for you to know these people exist? Why are they afraid to talk about the complete picture of black history? And this is the response to the 1619 New York Times Project, academic fraud, the 1619 Project. Why don't you learn about Black Wall Street in Tulsa, Oklahoma in the 1920s in school? Why don't you hear stories of black achievement, which punctuate American history over the last 2.5 centuries? Why don't you, do you think? Mary Kay in Western Springs, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Good morning, you guys. This inherent bias, they say that we all have this inherent bias, but they don't. Gosh, they don't in the colleges. They just will not bring in the any kind of a conservative point of view. And if they do, like at American University, they get told to leave. They get heckled. It's just not there. And by the way, they also don't teach any history. They don't talk about 9/11 over at LT High School. They didn't even bring it up this past year. 9/11, wasn't it the one of the, like the 18th year or something since it's been, my daughter was a senior there. And, you know, she was 8 months old when 9/11 happened, and they didn't even bring it up.
Right. Thanks for the call, Mary Kay. Well, I mean, this is it, right? First of all, inherent bias is scientifically fraudulent, and we've gone over that on this show. Secondly, right, so that history that's uncomfortable, that history that doesn't fit, you know, Howard Zinn's People's History of the People's History of America doesn't fit the ideological agenda is ignored, and we're redefining, reinventing, rewriting history, just as we're reinventing and redefining all the other constructs that the left seeks to break down, the postmodernism of the left, from institutions like marriage to ontological truths like gender. Phil on the north side.
Yeah, you mentioned earlier how we don't need stewards for diversity, but you know, a lot of other people think we do. I know Northern Illinois just hired a chief of diversity, and I believe it was $190,000 a year. And so, you know, you've got somebody being paid $200,000 a year to go fight the cause. So I guess we do need stewards. Thanks. Bye.
Thanks, Phil. Yeah, right. Yeah, to go fight the cause, meaning justify their existence and perpetuate that ideology I'm speaking of. But I mean, the point here, and right, and look, we know this. I mean, nobody covers college campuses more than this show. Nobody in the country. 230 plus bias response teams on college campuses. This didn't just happen yesterday. This has been ongoing for 50 years, and it's just sort of increased in pace and angle. So, so this becomes self-perpetuating. My point here is with Black Lives Matter Week is there's a lot of focus on college campuses, but people are shocked to learn, it seems all the time, that what happens on the college campus has its derivative starting at the pre-K level. So, you know, you think it's just about sharing and socializing and learning to read and do basic math. No, not for them. Not for the Marxists at District 65 and so many other school districts. It's indoctrination from day one.
If you're talking about it, Dan and Amy are talking about it. It's Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
This is Dan Frio with the Mortgage Update. The Fed did it again and helped push mortgage rates to yet another historic low. So are you holding off refinancing your home because you think rates may go even lower? Well, let me make your decision even easier. Let's refinance you now and take advantage of this opportunity. If rates drop more than 0.5% in the next 24 months, I will refinance you at the lower rate at no closing costs. Other lenders state that they'll refinance you, but watch out for the fine print. So if you have a conventional loan that's over 4.75 or FHA or VA loan over 4.5, you have nothing to lose and thousands to save. So find out how much you can save. Just pick up the phone to call me personally. That's 844-775-LOAN. That's 844-775-LOAN. Or find me on the web at windmortgage.com.
Parkside Lending, LLC is an Illinois residential mortgage licensee and an equal housing lender. NMLS 176162.
Balance of nature. Changing the world, one life at a time.
I was having a hard time breathing. It was hard for me to put one foot in front of the other. It was just awful. I feel 100% better. I mean, I can breathe. I don't feel that weight on my chest anymore. My head feels clearer, and my husband can tell that I seem more up about things. The fact that I feel better and my husband can tell my head is better, I'm just like singing from the rooftops about that.
See how getting a variety of over 10 servings of whole fruits and vegetables every day can make a difference for you this year. To help you start your New Year's resolutions right, Balance of Nature is offering 35% off and free shipping on your first preferred order of Balance of Nature. This New Year's special won't last, so call in now. Call 800-2468-751. That's 800-2468-751. Or go to balanceofnature.com and use discount code CHICAGO.
Stop wasting energy. There's a better way. Your company could be receiving energy efficiency incentives by recycling waste heat from on-site power generation equipment and turning it into useful energy. The federal government is pushing utility companies to be more efficient. In turn, utility companies are offering incentives for your business. Charles Equipment can help get you up and running with cogeneration, also known as CHP, combined heat and power. A clean and efficient way to generate heat and power. CHP systems can supply at least a portion of a building's electrical load and capture waste heat from hot exhaust gases for use in heating, cooling, hot water, and dehumidification. Charles Equipment can install and manage the cogen equipment at your facility and help your energy use become 70 to 90% more efficient. Start making better, more energy efficient decisions and save money in the process. Call Charles Equipment 630-834-6000 or online at charlesequipment.com. Reliable industrial generators. They've got the power.
For over a half a century, Seven Dwarfs Family Restaurant has been feeding and putting smiles on the faces of hungry adults and kids. Their mouthwatering food and unique decor are why they're one of the oldest and most popular restaurants in DuPage County. I used to go there all the time as a kid. Get comfy in a table or booth, enjoy the colorful murals on the wall, and experience why generations of customers have made Seven Dwarfs their regular go-to spot for the best breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Everything on Seven Dwarfs' extensive menu is homemade from scratch, including 3 to 4 daily specials and a choice of 2 homemade soups. And be sure to save room for Seven Dwarfs' popular ice cream and sundaes. When you're craving a truly delicious home-cooked meal but don't feel like cooking, visit Seven Dwarfs Family Restaurant on Roosevelt Road in Wheaton. At Roosevelt and President on Wheaton's east side, Seven Dwarfs is open every day from 6 a.m. to 9 p.m. Visit sevendwarfsrestaurant.com or call 630-653-7888. Host and owner Sam Sadiku looks forward to serving and welcoming you to Seven Dwarfs family of happy diners.
This is attorney Stephen Leahy, host of the IRS Radio Hour, heard right here on AM 560 every Sunday evening at 5 o'clock. Let me tell you about Bill. Bill's business slowed down and he fell behind on his taxes. Instead of filing his tax return, he decided to wait until he could pay. Well, 1 year turned to 2, turned to 3. Then the IRS threatened to contact his customers, take his house, his bank account, and his passport. Well, Bill hired me. We filed all of his tax returns and an appeal to slow the IRS down. Then we worked out an installment agreement based on how much he could pay, not on how much he owed. Now Bill can rely on the IRS protection plan. We will file his future tax returns and keep the IRS off his back so Bill can focus on growing his business. If you have questions about the IRS, you can get a copy of my book, Deal with Your IRS Problem Today, to learn the secrets of solving your IRS problem and save your business, your marriage, and your reputation. Call 312-664-6649 or go to freeirsbook.com.
Hi, Saver. Looking for ways to save on your Medicare Part D copays? We love that at Walgreens. We're a preferred network pharmacy with many plans nationwide, which could mean lower copays for you. Bring your prescriptions to a Walgreens pharmacy and start saving today. Walgreens, trusted since 1901. Walgreens participates as a preferred network pharmacy with United Healthcare, Cigna, and Express Scripts Medicare. Walgreens participates with other plans. See walgreens.com/Medicare for details.
This is a last chance alert. It's happening. In just days, Publishers Clearinghouse will award $5,000 a week forever. Enter now at PCH.com and you could win $5,000 a week for your life. Plus, after that, $5,000 a week for life for someone you choose. The $5,000 a week forever prize is guaranteed to be awarded on February 28th. So don't miss your last chance to win. Enter at PCH.com before it's too late. That's PCH.com. Hurry, award day is almost here. Go to PCH.com now. Entries due 2/25. No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited.
AM 560, The Answer.
Now, Royal Family Chat.
Top of the morning, Dan and Amy and Visalia couple, Visalia, California. It's an interesting story. I think this almost qualifies as vigilante justice, I got to tell you. Police arrested a man and woman Wednesday who they say left a bicycle unattended in the front yard of their home. Then attacked would-be thieves who tried to steal it with baseball bats and posted videos of the assaults to YouTube.
Now I want to see it. All right.
According to the police, in the videos, it appears as if the suspects planted a bicycle in their front yard of their residence, unsecured, and waited for someone to try and steal. They were luring them in, these bike thieves. Once someone tried to steal the bike, they would rush the house and assault the individual with a baseball bat, and apparently they did it over and over again. They have 4 victims identified. non-life-threatening injuries.
You can't really do that. That's illegal?
It may technically be. I'm wondering if we should do that for divvy riders in Chicago. Just lie in wait for divvy riders, and when they try to rent a divvy bike, then bum rush them.
Really?
Just to discourage bicycle riding.
Why do you hate it so much?
That's just the worst thing.
All right. Thanks for making us part of your morning. Thanks to Justin Kosick, who is our technical producer, and Quinn McCarthy, who is
Divvy Tech.
Right. That's exactly what he is. We're back here bright and early tomorrow morning at 5 a.m. Now here is Mike Scott.
Skies remain gray, and your forecast has a high of 38 for later today, and clouds and showers in your overnight forecast. An Army soldier from Aurora killed in a roadside bombing in Afghanistan is identified. Winter storm causes some big damage along the lakefront in Chicago. One killed, one wounded in a West Side shooting. The Bulls are at the Celtics tonight, while the Blackhawks warming up for the Senators tomorrow night. WIND Chicago News Time is 9 o'clock.
A villain